Perhaps we need some outside universal threat to make us recognize this common bound. I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world.
Good evening and welcome to the Tuesday night edition of Spaced Out Radio tonight. My name is Dave Scott. We got a great guest for you. Christian MacLeod, the Cryptid Guy, is here with the experience. We're going to have a good time with him for the next 3 hours, as he'll also be filling in for Robin Haynes, who's under the weather tonight. So 3 hours, literally, of this. There it is. 3 hours of that tonight. If you're not excited about that, I don't know what's going to excite you in life. I just don't know. Let us say hello to each and every one of you, shall we? We got Tim Mothman and his goatee in the gold medal position. Kitty Caddywhack with a silver. Eternity Eternal with a nice bronze medal tonight. Thunderhead, how you doing, my friend? Necessary Dialogue, Creepy Pasta. And Mel WD40 is here, lubing us up for tonight's show, because Christian literally says, I will not come on this show unless I am nice and lubed to talk about monsters and legends. So Mel is lubing up Christian's back as we speak. Robert Lamoth, how are you? Nice to see you as we continue on with our roll call. There's Paramarv. Paramarv will be signing autographs after the show. Line up to the left of the studio, if you don't mind, to the left of the studio. Pilgrim Society, how are you? As we continue on with our roll call. Race Fan, what's happening? Chaz Mataz, nice to see you. Necessary Dialogue, and Stephanie Kenny Blankenship. Nice to have you both here. And B, nice to have you here. Hi there, Operation Shutdown, Road Flare, and Luscious Jewels. Nice to see you all. Kitty Caddywhack, thank you so much for kicking off the super chat tonight. It's a wonderful way to support what we do on this show on a nightly basis. So thank you very, very much. Number 12 in your program tonight, starting at right wing from Stockholm, Sweden, Lars Jansson. He's got 6 goals in 10 games this year already. Guy is flying on the ice. MVP caliber season so far. Bad Frankie B, how you doing? Nice to see you as we continue on with our roll call. And who is next on our list? Well, let's scroll down. It's I'm Hardcore over on X. Fapperoony, how you doing, buddy? Nice to have you here. Mystery Beta, welcome to SOR Chat. How you doing? Algaray over on Twitch, bench press 400 pounds 49 times. He only meant for 34, finished with 49. His arms are jacked for tonight's show. Just jacked up. Jay Trueseeker, how are you? AJ is here. AJ will be signing autographs after the show as well. Line up to the right of the studio, if you don't mind. To the right of the studio. Walter Kochabinski, what's happening? Michael Gutierrez, hope you're having a great night. The Nicholas family, a.k.a. Paul, how you doing, my friend? As we continue on with our roll call. Jerence Carter is here. How you doing, Jerence? All right. In the studio, thank you for joining us. Who else do we have? Who else? Scrolling on down, Millennium, my man. Yeah. Millennium, by the way, 48 penalty minutes in the first 11 games of his season. 48 minutes in penalties. 3 fighting majors, 3 misconducts. Oh, I love that kind of player. Good job, Millennium. I appreciate you. Let's get the radio side going. Hello and welcome to the radio and podcast side of Spaced Out Radio tonight. My name is Dave Scott. Christian MacLeod, the Cryptid Guy, is here. We're going to chat with him just to see what's happening in the land of monsters and legends. We're going to have him momentarily. We are in our roll call right now on YouTube, and literally we're caught up. Like, we're never caught up at this time, but we're caught up. Yeah. So I don't know. What do you want to talk about before the show? I don't know. We're going to have fun talking all sorts of monsters and creepy stories, everything that kind of goes that way. We want to remind people on our YouTube side that the super chat is open. It's a wonderful way to support what we do on this show on a nightly basis, because we're one of the only people who are here 7 days a week for your listening entertainment. You could join our YouTube membership as well. You could shop at our Spaced Out Radio store. We do not have ugly swag, people. No ugly swag, so head to our website. And as of tomorrow, you could go to cariboucon.com, cariboucon.com. Get your tickets for the Caribou Con next year. Horns up.
Are you ready to hear your mystic voice of the night?
It's time to wake up.
He's here. Shush. Be quiet. He's ready for you to listen. Let's point our ears towards the little cabin in the woods, where together, my friends, we own the night. It's time for Spaced Out Radio with Dave Scott.
From the mountains of central British Columbia to you listening around the world, this, my friends, is Spaced Out Radio. I am your host, Dave Scott, sitting in the captain's chair of SOR headquarters. We welcome you to tonight's show on our terrestrial affiliates around North America, digitally on every major podcast network. Our website, spacedoutradio.com. We have a plethora of features for you. Rock out to Bumblefoot, read the news wire, check out our swag as well. You can follow us on X at Spaced Out Radio, Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show, and on Patreon in the Space Travelers Club. Tonight's show is brought to you by Chive Charities. Help make the world 10% happier by visiting Chive Charities today. You can find them on our website. We have an awesome show planned for you tonight. Monthly contributor Christian MacLeod, the man, the myth, and the legend, all rolled into one, coming on for a little monster talk that he does each and every month. He's going to stick with us right through hour number 3 because Robin Haynes is ill tonight, so she cannot make it. So she's like, can Christian bail me out here? And I'm like, yeah, we could figure that one out. Poor thing. We love Robin around here. So let's get to it. Let's learn about the Cryptid Guy, if we call him by the French side of things. Cryptid Guy. Christian MacLeod, known to his fans as the Cryptid Guy, is one of North America's most dedicated field investigators of Bigfoot, Dogman, and the other mysterious creatures said to roam the shadows of our wilderness. With years of on-the-ground research and countless encounters in the field, Christian combines science, folklore, and technology to explore the boundaries between myth and reality. His investigations pull viewers deep into the forests and swamps where legends live, bringing a mix of adventure, analysis, and storytelling that captivates believers and skeptics alike. If you want his website, it is cryptidguy.com. Cryptidguy.com. Let's bring him on in. There he is, the man, the myth, and the legend, Christian MacLeod. It's always good to see you on Spaced Out.
I never get tired of looking at that picture, brother. Never.
Well, our radio audience can't see this beautiful picture that I took of you at Nebraska Bigfoot conference earlier this year, and it is gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. And
I think we should have posters made and just say Spaced Out Radio.
Well, what I'm going to do, because we have a little bit of breaking news here. as of tomorrow, cariboucon.com, that's CARIBOO, Caribou, Con, C-O-N, cariboucon.com will go live. And we will be selling tickets. Well, the event will be, not we here at Spaced Out Radio. But the event will be selling tickets for September 18th through 20th here in 108 Mile Ranch, British Columbia. And VIP tickets go on sale. There is only 50 of them. That's it, 50. And the other breaking news that we have is you are going to be one of the presenters.
I am, and I'm looking very forward to it. I think Christina and I are going to fly up there, even if I have to get on the pole, start earning some more money, get some ticket money. But we're going to go up there, and we're just looking. We're thrilled about it. That's all we've been talking about all day, actually. So
I can't wait.
The boss can't wait.
Yes, introduce Christina, because a lot of times people listening will hear her voice, but they won't know who she is. And she is
my better half. It's Christina. We used to call her Christina the Brain in high school. She used to cheat off me in geometry.
Other way around. It's the other way around. It was totally the other way around.
Well, we're glad both of you are here, and I am very much looking forward to it. And it's funny how that happened, because I wasn't even thinking about, we're trying to keep it more local to keep costs down this year for the first ever event. And we got some great people coming in. The ladies from the Beyond the Haunting television show will be there. Grant Cameron is going to be there. Our friend Merle is going to be there.
Merle.
Yeah, Merle. And you had said, hey man, what's your schedule like for next year? And I said, well, I'm going back to Nebraska. I got our Spaced Out Radio Vegas event in May. And then we need
to be at that too. That's something we've been talking about that. I think we need to hit that too.
Yeah,
definitely.
So then I was like, wait, well, you can speak at my event. And I said, but you got to make your way up here. And you're like, oh yeah, I'm coming. We're going
to be there.
It wasn't even a question.
No, so that's just it's done.
Well, I think it's absolutely great, that you will come in here, you will speak of monsters and legends and everything about it. How much do you like speaking in front of people at these conferences?
Yeah, Dave, the truth is, I never really thought about it, because I do the tours, and just like you, I do the tours, and you don't think about it, but I probably speak to 5,000-6,000 people a year,
more,
maybe more, so I love doing it. It's it's one of those things I really enjoy it, because I love the subject matter, I love the audience, and I love spreading information. Because we work hard. We do a lot of research. Everything we say is, we don't emphasize anything that's not true. We are firm believers that if you don't believe what we're saying, go Google it and look for yourself. But we just try to give you the most amount of evidence in the funnest possible way. And that's something I know as you do too. And I think that's one of the reasons why, we get along so well, is just because you've got the same kind of mindset I have when it comes to that. It's important. You have to do boots on the ground research. You have to. Otherwise, you're just staring at a computer all day. So I'm just a firm believer that if you enjoy what you do, it's not really hard work. And that's kind of the way I look at it.
I've been on stage with you. Yeah. I've heard you speak twice. I got to sit on stage with you, and one of the things that I would say about the way you present is you are very inviting to the audience. So many speakers, when you go to these conferences, and it's not to put anybody down, for some people, they are just nervous up there with everybody watching them and all their eyes on it. But it comes very natural to you to speak in front of people, to get into detail. You're very eloquent. You're very stylish with your words, handsome on stage. You know what I'm saying? Why is it such a comfort zone for you?
In real life, I'm a teacher, so I guess that probably has something to do with it. I teach K through 12, and I've taught college level. So I'm just comfortable up there dispensing information. But I like people to be involved. So that's why one of the things, I love Robin to death, but when we do the Paracons with Robin, she's like always telling me, she goes, no, don't run off the stage and start talking to people in the audience. And so that's exactly what I'm going to do.
Of course.
So I tend to, I try to bring people, I always try to bring people in and get them involved and get them into the information and get their opinion. Because, I'm still one of the old school guys. I love PowerPoint. I don't know why I always did, but I love doing a PowerPoint presentation because I like showing people, okay, here's what we have. Here's our evidence. And this is where we got it. And this is what we're extrapolating out of it. What do you think? What are your thoughts? Because maybe I'm not seeing something you are. And I think I like to get the audience involved. I mean, because what's the point of going someplace? I know exactly what you're talking about. I've been to Paracons or Comic-Cons, not Comic-Cons, excuse me. Bigfoot Comic-Con or Bigfoot-a-cons. Conventions. Thank you, baby. Conventions. And I know exactly what you're talking about. People on stage and like they're almost unapproachable. And then like they always have, you ever notice how like some people have that person by the stage? So the second they get off, that person's like right with them and they kind of walk them out of there. That drives me freaking nuts, Dave. I mean, that drives me nuts because it's like, in this thing we do, I don't think anyone should feel like they're above anyone. We're all kind of doing the same thing. So when someone calls themselves an expert in a field, and I know I've said this a million times, but anytime anyone calls themselves an expert in a field, they're full of it. There might be people who have been researching for years and they know a lot, but there's no such thing as an expert in our field. And when people, try to, take that step above everyone else and say, oh yeah, well, I'm an expert in this. Where'd you get that doctorate from? Or where'd you get your expertise from? I always like saying that kind of thing because anyone can do what we do. We're just dedicated.
Well, also as somebody who's heard both of you guys speak, I love that both of you put some sense of humor into it and make it fun for the audience, where a lot of people are just very dry and get up there and, either read their stuff or say something that they've memorized and are unapproachable. You guys make it fun.
Thank you.
Well, it's hard not to, when you're there to entertain. I mean, Christian, how many times have you been at a conference and there's always the grumpy old guy in the first three rows, his arms are crossed,
like
and he's nodding off.
And he's doing this. And then there's that's not true. That's not true.
Oh yeah.
You can't prove that. It's like, well, can you disprove it? I don't have to.
But
I love that. Because that's the kind of person I want to focus on that person. And then I don't have to change their mind. I just want them to experience things a little differently. How about the word maybe? Is it possible this is true? Is it fun has no place here. Is it possible, this could happen? And I think that's why so many people like kind of delving into the realm of the paranormal and the cryptid world is because, there's so many things people say it's impossible. But then, 2 years later, they find out it's totally probable. It's probably happened. I just saw this thing on TV. I'm sorry, not on TV. It was on one of those video shorts. I like the science, how to do the science video shorts and they just talk about the upcoming technology. There's a pill now where you can stay underwater for 45 minutes. And it super oxygenates your hemoglobin. So your blood has oxygen. So it somehow does that, but it's so you can stay underwater for 45 minutes and not have to worry about breathing. Now, who would have thought that would have ever been something that's real? Look at all these things that happen in other countries in the scientific labs. Apparently, Japan has found a way to stop aging. They're talking about nanobots and pets in 3 years and to help your dog live longer. I mean, it's all this technology. So why can't we use like all these things that happen, use that technology, extrapolate it, and look at something that might be a little different, like the paranormal or UFOs or Bigfoot in the woods or cryptids, like the topic we're going to be talking about, the Bermuda Triangle and the Alaska Triangle tonight. That stuff is fascinating because when you look at it, it's got a history of strange anomalies, and no one's ever really looked into it. And if they have looked into it, we don't know about it because they don't discuss it. And there's always someone that writes a book, but where's like the government intelligence on all this stuff? You're telling me that the government didn't do anything with the Bermuda Triangle, or they haven't studied that or researched that, or the United States federal government hasn't done anything with the Alaska Triangle? 20,000 missing people, and they're not doing anything about that?
Just since the 70s.
Just since the 70s. Think about that, Dave. So I mean, it's just there's all this stuff that needs to be explored, and a lot of people just don't do it. And when we do it, I think people seem like it's more interesting because it's kind of like off the cuff. It's like, oh wait, I never think of that, or it's like a parascience. That's why it's the paranormal.
I remember the first big conference I did, and it was at UFO Con in San Francisco. I think it was back in like 2018. And Lorian Fenton took a chance on me because she had listened to the show. She liked the show. She had been a guest, and she's always looking for new speakers. And I said, well, let me tell you my story. So she goes, go, come on my show. Immediately, the minute we signed off, she's like, you're speaking at my event. And I'm like, okay, I guess so. I mean, I'm still relatively green in the field. And what I remember about that was after my presentation, I was so nervous up there because literally my hero and idol, Grant Cameron, is watching me like a hawk. Okay. And I literally almost froze when I saw him in the crowd. And now Grant is one of my great friends, and I'm so blessed to have him there. But what I remember is afterwards, because I told everybody about my UFO and alien experiences and being a journalist and how tough it was to try and balance telling the story without any bias, I got a standing ovation at the end. And I'm standing on stage, and all these people are standing up, and they're clapping for me. And I didn't know what to do. I'm like, do I acknowledge it? Do I not? Because I mean, I'm just a dude, man. I mean, that crap doesn't happen to me, And Grant Cameron, I'm looking for Grant because everybody's like standing, and I'm looking for Grant, and I see him beeline it from his seat in the middle on the left, about 10 rows back. He beelines it through the aisle, straight down the aisle towards the stage where I am. And he pulls me off the stage, and he's like, where have you been? And he goes, anything you ever need, I'll help you with.
That's awesome.
And it was one of the greatest moments of my professional paranormal career, was that moment there. And I've been trying to find it ever since until I met you. I knew I'd found it.
Yeah. That man right there.
Yeah.
Oh,
but thank you to Grant Cameron for that.
Well, it's but see, it's when you tell me a story like that, that's just awesome because your hero kind of helped you out with that.
Yes.
And that's the cool thing. And I was very lucky in the fact that when I started to do things publicly, came out, a little bit more of my research and stuff. I had George Norrie and Tom Danheiser and Joshua P. Warren, and I had all three of them captive audience for several hours. And the second, we were done talking, he's like, you need to go on stage, you need to explain, you need to write book, you need to do stuff because people, he gave me one of the best compliments I ever got was he told me I was relatable. When you see some of these people on stage, especially like the real pretty people, everything on them's perfect. They're 140 pounds,
Yeah. I know. I sat beside one on stage.
That's genetic perfection is what that is. That's different.
Beautiful people.
That's you. But I'm just a regular, ordinary guy, just like you. We sit down, we eat bad lunch, we have a couple beers, and we talk about stuff. We've got families, and so we're not unapproachable. Like I can't imagine being unapproachable to someone. Like it's like when you come off stage and people want to ask you questions, I want to talk to every one of them. I want everyone. If they have a question, I want to be able to answer it for them. And if I can, I'll find it out, or I'll give them my card and I'll just give them my number. I'm not. Why not? It's one of these things where if someone has taken the time to see me, like specifically, and that doesn't happen. I'm always part of a crowd. No one's driving anywhere to see Christian MacLeod. It's usually a whole event. So if I'm lucky enough to be in that event, the way I look at it is I owe it to that person in the audience to answer whatever I can for them and just be as nice as they can. There's nothing worse than a tool. And someone gets off stage and they don't want to talk to one, or they're unapproachable, or they act like they're better than everyone else and they just kind of walk away. I'm not a rock star. I'm just an ordinary average guy. So if someone has a question for me, the least I can do is just take the time out and answer it. And I know you do the same thing because I've seen you do it. So, I mean, that's just, but I think that's what people like. They like to be part of what we're doing by asking questions and getting answers. And there's always, hey, everyone's always got a story.
Absolutely. What's your favorite story to tell?
Huh?
What's your favorite story to tell?
My favorite one now is when Christina and I did when did we do that UFO?
Oh, that was last summer.
2 years ago we did a UFO event, and I had got some information about Betty and Barney Hill that had never been released, and it was basically about the alphabet agencies and what they had to do with it, and it was actually quite a lot. And I was presenting this information, and there was a guy from a TV show, let's just say Ancient Astronauts. I'm not going to mention any names, but who was in the audience. And I was just presenting this material. His face just went like he was in complete and total shock because he'd never seen any of this stuff. And that was cool. But what really happened that was cool is I'm in the middle of my presentation. This older woman stands up and she goes, let me explain something. She goes, I'm with the federal government. And she shows her ID, and she was with the federal government. And she said, I can't get my hands on this information. So where did you get it? I got more street credit out of that than anything else. It was just cool because there's about 150 people in the room, and they're all looking at me like, oh yeah, he's got.
For our audience, what was that information?
It was just stuff about actually it was about the KGB trying to infiltrate information on the family Betty and Barney Hill, how they actually really went to great lengths to get information. The CIA was involved, FBI, I mean all this stuff, and they had denied having anything to do with it. And there's all their paperwork right there. Boom. So that was kind of cool. That's kind of my favorite story because that kind of put us. Like we were the rock stars for that day but the lady was it was a very weird conversation because she was an actual federal government agent, and she and her partner have been sitting there taking notes and taking pictures of everyone. And that does happen, my friends. Don't ever think when you go to a Paracon or something like that, there's always someone in there that's taking notes to see what is if anyone really knows anything. And that does happen. But that was like the first time we had that kind of exposure to the point where a government official stands up, and I wasn't that nice. I was a little rude to her.
We got 90 seconds to go before we have to go to break at the bottom of the hour. Christian MacLeod is here tonight on Spaced Out Radio. Christian, I remember at UFO Con earlier this year, there was a weird lady who came in through the side door, and people were kind of watching her. She kind of looked like she needed help, dressed in all black. All of a sudden, she rips her hand out of this lady's arm. Okay. The lady had a hold of her and, rips her arm away from this lady, runs down a hall that has no doors and vanishes.
Wow.
Yeah. And of course, I was in the bar when this happened, but a bunch of people that I knew watched this and watched it happen take place, including former CIA spook John Ramirez, Science Bob, and a couple others. She literally just vanished. Nobody knows what the hell it was about.
CIA guy didn't know? He had no clue?
No clue.
That's what would scare me.
A woman in black. I like that.
Woman WOB again.
Yeah. It was crazy how she just vanished into thin air down a hallway.
That is nuts. Yeah, but you never know these things. Like I said, man, I had known, I've seen police officers and stuff like that and local stuff that were like obviously trying to be undercover and things like that. But I didn't really think that like real federal government agent types would actually be in these places. And they are.
That's true.
They take notes, man.
Hold on right there. Christian MacLeod, his website, cryptidguy.com. If you want to check him on out. When we return, we're going to get into some stories of strangeness around the world. That's what he does each and every time. Christian is here on Spaced Out Radio. He's mild, he's moody, he's handsome, and he's a good storyteller. CryptidGuy.com.
Humble teacher.
All right, we're clear.
Excellent.
Excellent. Excellent. I'm going to print out that picture and get you to autograph it when you're here.
Not a problem.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm. I'm even going to get you to autograph one for Christina.
Yeah, I'll get you. We'll have Christina do one.
Get one of my old headshots when I was blonde.
We could sell those.
Jeff Steve Garvey is here. He'll hit a home run for you. Jules, sometimes when I say hi to people, they're in on X or Twitch as well. You don't get to see them because they're not on YouTube, but I get to see them on this end. Had a big bowl full of chili today for dinner.
Nice.
Yep.
We had we went to McDonald's to get some chicken nuggets.
Ah. Have you ever eaten at a Canadian McDonald's?
Mm-mm.
Eat it at a Canadian McDonald's, you'll never eat at an American at McDonald's again.
No, man, we might just move up there. Fresh air, nice clean living, back bacon.
It's bacon.
Bacon. Oh, thanks, babe. It's bacon.
Yeah, and a big bowl of chili, threw a bunch of hot sauce in there. Yeah, seriously, the burgers taste different.
They probably better quality of meat. You guys are a lot more stringent on what you get,
Yeah, one of the rules that they have here is that every restaurant must serve grade A beef. So you don't get that pink gel or whatever the hell they're
that pink slime.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even know who does. Yeah, that's just I don't want to think about that. How they use processed pink slime to feed us. America will eat anything. I mean, that is a sad state of affairs. Americans will eat anything. We will. I mean, they sell food here that they won't even sell in. What is it? Some of the cereal we get, some like the cornflakes. I don't even think they won't. There's part of Europe that won't even sell cornflakes. Or some.
It's because of that.
Yeah.
It's like Raisin Bran used to be so good until they screwed with the flakes and put like that hard, crispy coating on the flakes.
What the hell they were thinking?
Now it's horrible.
I used to like frosted shredded wheat. That was like always one of my favorites. And I can't.
Frosted mini wheat?
Yeah, can't find that these days.
Oh, we got them up here. I got some upstairs.
That's good stuff.
I always love frosted mini wheats.
Yeah.
My favorite still is Lucky Charms.
Yeah.
Oh, those are good.
Love the Lucky Charms.
Honey Nut Cheerios, love that.
Captain Crunch.
Lucky Charms with the literally stale marshmallows.
Marshmallows, yep.
Oh, nothing better than them stale marshmallows.
Oh, and the rainbow.
Yep.
Stale.
The rainbow of colors in them.
I don't know how old those marshmallows really are.
Oh, who knows? I still like them.
Oh, yeah, it's hard not to.
What's the host's name? My name is Dave.
Yeah. Captain Crunch.
You've been coming here for a while, Athena. I thought you would know my name by
Oh,
now.
Cinnamon Toast Crunch is
Cinnamon
good, too.
Toast Crunch are good. Yeah, we have coffee.
Yeah.
We get Cinnamon
I got
Toast
some of
Crunch
them upstairs
coffee.
too.
Yeah.
Like the Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
And Captain Crunch with crunch berries. Oh.
The crunch berries.
I haven't had Captain Crunch in a long time. All right, we got about 40 seconds here. Thank you to the lovely Sally Alka, the lovely Kitty Cattywhack, and the lovely Creepy Pasta for the super chats. We greatly appreciate your love and support here on Spaced Out Radio. You can also join our membership. As of tomorrow, if you are looking for VIP tickets for Caribou Con 2026 in September, tickets will be on sale as of tomorrow on the website. There are only 50 VIP tickets available. So if you plan on coming, do not wait. Do not wait. Get your VIP tickets. Hi there, Amy Vegas. Oh, I love you. Yes, I do. Dave loves you. Right there. Here we go. We're off on the second half hour of Spaced Out Radio tonight. My name is Dave Scott. We have the Cryptid Guy, Christian MacLeod here, hanging on out with us. His website, cryptidguy.com. If you want to check it on out, we're going to get into some monster tales and stories from around the world coming up right after this. But first, we want to remind all of you that if you've missed portions of this show or others, our archives are always free. YouTube, any major podcast network, you can listen to us anytime you want. Our website, spacedoutradio.com, we have a plethora of features for you. Rock out to Bumblefoot, read the news wire, check out our swag as well. You can follow us on X at Spaced Out Radio, Instagram, Spaced Out Radio Show, and on Patreon in the Space Travelers Club. Christian MacLeod, once again, coming on in for the experience. We love him around here. We love it when he tells his stories and his website, cryptidguy.com. Christian, welcome back.
Thank you. Thank you. I was looking at the little messages up here, and I, of course, grape nuts. Must have. I do like grape nuts. We were talking about cereals earlier.
So for our radio audience, during the break, we were chatting with our YouTube audience about the best cereals out there, because I'm a Lucky Charms kind of guy, and I'm a Cinnamon Toast Crunch kind of guy. I spent 35 plus years on Raisin Bran until they put that gross wax coating on the brand part. I haven't touched it since. Been about 4 years, 5 years since I've had a bowl of Raisin Bran. Here's my question to you, because maybe I'm weird this way. Do you have a special bowl that you eat cereal in?
I do. Yeah, I totally do. And the last time I saw it, someone was giving water to the dog out of it.
No.
Oh yeah. Yeah. No guilt, no remorse. Didn't care.
I didn't know.
Didn't care.
I watched my mother-in-law one time go into the cupboard, grab my bowl, and start putting leftovers in it. And I looked at my partner, and I looked at her mom, looked at my partner, looked at her mom, and I was like grinding my teeth because I wanted to scream. That's my bowl. And she goes, Mom, let's use a different container. Let's use something different here.
But it's not the same. It's been befouled.
Yeah, but I had to wash it.
Yeah, but but even then you still know what happened to it.
No, I tell you, when I die, I'm being buried with that bowl.
I feel so. I've got my Lodge frying pan. It was my grandfather's, and that thing's got to be at least 100 years old. But it's my favorite pan. That's coming with me. I'm taking that with me. I'm with you. That's like the only thing I need. If I go camping, I just bring that. I'll eat out of it. I'll cook in it. I don't care. It's the way to go.
Well, you know what? Let's get to some stories that you have. What do you got for us tonight that's going to weird us out?
Well, tonight we want to talk about a couple of cool places, and they end in a triangle. So we're going to talk about the I won't say Golden Triangle. We're going to talk about the Alaska Triangle, the Bermuda Triangle, and the dragon, yeah, but the Asian, their version of the Bermuda Triangle. And what baffles me is I've actually scuba dived several times in the Bermuda Triangle, and we had an incident where it was just very weird. But when you look at all the reports of all the things that have happened, it kind of follows a pattern. And we had the same thing happen to us, basically, that Christopher Columbus had. When you talk about all 4 of his voyages, everyone knows it's 1492, 1493, and then 1498, and then 1502. But every time they got to the Bermuda Triangle, they had pretty much the same anomalies happen. At one point in time, they saw fireballs in the sky. Columbus's compass stopped working. It just started spinning and spinning and spinning and spinning. He couldn't get directions, and the men were acting a little bit weird, and they never really figured out what had happened there. But it was just an anomaly he knew he was going to have to go through. In fact, the last voyage he made, when the compass went out, he didn't even tell the men about it. He didn't want to freak everyone out. But these are things that have been happening for years. And when we started doing the research, I started thinking about some of the times we had issues in Bermuda Triangle. For those who don't know, I used to be a commercial diver, and I used to do a lot of salvage diving. And I did some treasure hunting out on the coast of Florida for a few years. And we were always where that part of Florida is, where people, when the people see the Bermuda Triangle, it's Bermuda, Miami, and then Puerto Rico. So I've heard almost some people say it's 500,000 square miles of sea. Some people say it's 1 million miles of square miles of sea. But it's an incredible amount of ocean, and the depths are very, very strange, because at some points you'll be at 100 feet, and you're not too far off the coast of Miami. But then it goes down to 29,000 feet in the Gulf of the Puerto Rican Trench. So it's part of the deepest parts of the ocean. But when we were out there, we were looking for Spanish gold from one of the 1715 fleet, and we had done some research, and we were looking at this one particular area. Brand new boat, brand new dive boat. The boat was gorgeous. I think it had 20 hours on it at that point in time. It was just refinished. They just had everything painted, new engine, everything, just gorgeous. And we're out there, and I go to set the anchor, because in Florida, sometimes what you have to do, because the sand is so light, you have to set the anchor. Well, when I went to set the anchor, I just splashed in, and the water was so hypoxic that the sodium started building up around my regulator the second I got in the water. So by the time I set the anchor and came up, there was actually a salt ring around my mask and my octo and everything. And I thought that was a weird. Now, for those of you, most people don't realize this. Hypoxic water, most people, saturation point for sodium is about 21% in the ocean. So when you start going over 21%, that means there's nothing in there, but just it's hypoxic. It goes beyond saturation point. So it's just nothing but, it's basically salt. And what does salt do to a human body when you're encompassed in it? It sucks the water out. It can actually kill you. And what will happen is you just all the moisture in your body comes out, and it's an easy way to get dehydrated. So when I came back out on the deck after putting the anchor down, when I came out, I had to wash out my reg because there was salt in it, and I knew that was going to be a problem. So we were hydrating, telling everyone, okay, make sure you stay hydrated, and we were in for a little bit, and something happened on the boat. There was an issue. The radio just stopped working. And when that happened, we all came up, and we decided we were going to go back. And I remember looking at the captain, and he's sitting there, and he's trying to turn the ignition, no turn. The radio's completely dead, and all of a sudden, I'm looking at the ball compass, and all it's doing is this, spinning.
No.
It's just spinning. And there was absolutely, and we're just dead in the water, completely dead in the water. Nothing around but ocean. And it was just one of those things where, like, are you kidding me with this? Because you start thinking, I'm going to check out. I'm going to be a victim from the Bermuda Triangle, and I'm barely in the triangle, like I'm in the right quarter pocket of it. I'm not even in the cool part. And it was one of those things where we were out there for 2 hours just floating. We figured we'd try to catch, if we thought about the tide, we were trying to get the Gulf tide, because we figured maybe that would bring us in closer to the ocean, or closer into the land. So we just pulled the anchor and we just floated, and we were floating for like 2 hours. And the captain was just sitting there, and he he was smoking a cigarette, and he was just like, his face was going, I don't know what we're gonna do. I don't know what we're gonna do. I don't know what we're gonna do. And all of a sudden, all you heard was ding, and the ignition kicked back on. It's like everything just started working, everything. And then we ended up having a, you know, we were out quite a ways after that, but I mean, we ended up going back, but it took an extra hour and a half to get back. So we floated a good distance, but that was the first time we had an issue out there. The second time, we almost had the exact same thing happen, except we didn't have enough water on the boat, and people kept going in and out of the water. We're like, all right, stop diving. It's not safe because the water was hypoxic, and everyone was getting salt crystals built on them. And I actually had salt in my ears coming out of the water. And then, of course, when the captain looks at me and goes, he's trying to start the engine. I'm like, are you serious? This again? So we did that like 2 days in a row, and then that was like the last time we went out there on that particular area. But it was like the same thing happened. We were dead in the water for like 2 hours. We floated out a little bit, and then the next thing you know, everything worked again. And to this day, I have absolutely no idea why that happened. But I remember watching the compass just go like this.
That is crazy.
And that first time you're thinking, okay, a big deal. And the second day when that happened, when I dive, I have a compass. It looks like a big watch, but it's a compass. You know, it's just something I keep, you know, for safety reasons. And actually, when I dive with two of them. I have two compasses on me. I've got one on my rig, on my octo, of course, and then I've got the hand compass. And one of them is an oceanic, which is one of the best you can buy. And the other one, I've just had this thing for years. It's like one of the best compasses I've ever had. And when I was looking at the compass on the captain's deck, I just happened to look down on my left hand, and my compass is doing the exact same thing. And that's just that little hand, you know, the little water, the liquid crystal, and it's just floating around like that. It's just spinning and spinning and spinning. So I have no idea what kind of anomalies change or go on out there. There's been I've heard several things like there's huge sulfur deposits. I just don't know how a sulfur deposit is going to change the orientation of a compass. I just don't know how that's going to happen. But I have seen where sulfur will displace the buoyancy in water and cause things to sink. So I think that might be possible. But when you look at all the wrecks that have happened out there and the disappearances, they're just strange, man. It's just weird stuff. I mean, you got boats out there that they can't explain what happened because all the men are gone. All their valuables are still there, but the escape boats, the documentation, everything's gone. And then you just find, you know, part of the boat that's not even, it's, you know, a new boat. There's one, what was the name of that one I was looking at? Excuse me a second. When we came up to the one that was built in Maine. Oh, goodness. The Carol Deering. Carol Deering's a boat. It's built in 1919 and it's built in Maine, and it's a very well put together vessel. And the second, it's gone. It's maiden second voyage, and it's going to Rio de Janeiro to drop off coal, and it's coming from Portland, Maine. It gets a triangle. They find the hulk of the boat in Cape Hatteras, and it's not even a year old, and the thing looks like it's been sitting out there for years. And there was none of the people were on board. All the emergency vehicles or the emergency boats were gone. All the people were just gone. There was absolutely no indication of what happened. They took all the logs and everything with them. And it just tends to happen time after time after time. And you have to ask yourself, what's doing that? You know, is there a certain key point where you go past something and it's just gonna, you know, sink the boat, or what? I mean, what happens? How do all these people disappear and where do they go? That's what I want to know. And it just keeps happening. And this is just in 1919. I mean, like I said, we've got cases from Christopher Columbus that go back this way on the triangle, and it astounds me because you're not talking about a random thing. You're talking about a well-known event. I was reading earlier, and I remember reading this a long time ago. There are actually transport boats coming over from Asia and Europe that, you know, they'll cross through the triangle, or they'll have to cut through the triangle, but they prefer to avoid it. They'll actually go the longer way around, so they don't have to go into the waters. And that's one of the reasons why.
Is it the water being treacherous, or just that there is no answer to what is going on?
Well, it is prone to hurricanes. You can have weather anomalies, but the truth of the matter is, I don't think they know what's going on. I really don't, because the amount of people and ships, and we're not just talking civilian ships. We've lost military vessels. I mean, you've got Flight 19, you got the Cyclops, you got all these things out there that have disappeared over the years, and that's just the stuff we know of. What about the stuff we don't know of? So it's just one of those things where there has to be a reason. I mean, I just don't buy that. It's just bad luck or it's a weather. These days you can take a boat in a hurricane and you know how to get. The technology's there for EPIRBs and things like that. So you always have constant satellite surveillance. But just to disappear, it makes no difference. I just don't understand it. It makes no sense to me.
Well, and with the Bermuda Triangle, there is a huge number of magnetic anomalies reported and have been studied, but they can't be repeated. They can't repeat the experiments and find the same thing in the same place. And they correlate a lot with UFO sightings there. There's almost always some reports of UFO sightings around the same times that these things are happening. Even with the Columbus ones, when they reported the fireballs in the sky and seeing all kinds of different stuff. So there's a big question over whether this is UFO related stuff that's happening or whether it is some sort of magnetic anomaly that is contained in the earth.
Yeah, but even then, like when I was out there both times, that was 2 days in a row, and we had the exact same compass malfunctions in the same place, and it was just blue skies. So I just don't know what it is, and I don't know if that's just for like a regular compass, like a lunostatic compass, or I've never seen a digital compass do that. I'm sure it probably would have in that particular area, but it's just I wonder how it affects certain things, and it's crazy because when you think about it's 2025 going on 2026. Our modern technology, everything we can do, we still can't figure out why we have boats sinking in a certain area of the water, or why people disappear in certain areas, and we have absolutely no idea where they go. We can't. I mean, when they're gone, they're gone. You can't find them there. It's just crazy.
Plane crashes too. So many there.
A lot of it, and that's just they don't even really talk about the private stuff that happens out there, and that's just we don't even know what happens in the Bahamas,
right?
Or in Bermuda when they're flying out there. We don't know because they cross. I mean, I've heard tons of reports. When I've been in the Bahamas, and I've heard reports, they've had 5 or 6 people just missing. Happens once in a while, and then like in the hotter months, it happens more. They have more plane issues, but you never really hear about that over here. Never hear about it in America. It's always local to the area, but it's just very, very interesting. I saw when my brother was in on there.
What's the weirdest story you've heard come out of there?
I gotta get it. To me, it's either the Carol Deering or the Cyclops.
Tell us the Cyclops story.
The Cyclops, the USS Cyclops. The crew and passengers just vanished. Didn't they find the boat floating? They found the boat basically abandoned, and it was a military vessel. And there was absolutely, to this day, they have absolutely no idea what happened there.
Yeah, it's referred to as a ghost ship.
It's a ghost ship. They have no idea what happened to it. And the reason why I always say that's one of the most interesting to me is because it's a military. Again, I say, but it's military. That's a little different. When you talk about Flight 19, when Flight 19 went missing, they sent another flight after it, and oh, by the way, that disappeared too. So then they decided, okay, that's enough. But when a military vessel goes missing, that's when they tend to, send out the big gun, so to speak. And when you can't find anything with that's what worries me, because that tells me our military isn't equipped to deal with, a loss on that kind of that caliber in that particular area. Do you think it's
portals? Do you think it's something else?
20 years ago, I would have said no. I would have said absolutely not. These days, it would not. It doesn't surprise me if it was a vortex, a portal. A lot of people think the Bermuda Triangle is exactly where Atlantis was, and maybe there's some kind of leftover technology that just activates every once in a while. It's underwater and just causes something to happen. I'll just put it this way. I would not say no. It would not surprise me. It would really not surprise me if all these things got sucked in. It could be a rip in the time-space continuum. It could be a portal that just maybe, it just takes them to a point in time that precedes where we are now, or maybe is past. We don't know. But the one thing I will say is, when you're sending Navy ships out looking for wreckage and they're not finding them, or they're not finding wreckage, that tells me there's an issue too. I mean, so what happened to this stuff? I love those movies where you see like these old the old sci-fi movies where they, especially the 80s, or they land and then there's people coming out that are dressed from like the 40s that were in the Navy and the Air, and they haven't aged a day, and they don't know. I'd like to think maybe something like that, but I don't know. It would not surprise me if it was a vortex or a portal or some kind of space-time continuum anomaly. And the other thing is, apparently there's ley lines that go right through the triangle. So, there's that too. I don't know. I've never seen that map specifically, but I have heard that several times.
It is something strange. And I think, Flight 19 is the most unique and popular one because of the radio air traffic control conversations and the planes just seeming to vanish. And it's weird how the radar that was on those planes, detected where they were, but when they went and searched that entire area, none of the planes were ever found there. And in fact, I believe they found other aircraft that had been abandoned there, but they've never found that flight.
Well, they did find a Mustang, P-45 Mustang, but it wasn't actually. They found 7 of them, but it wasn't from Flight 19. I think they found those in the 90s. They found a few of them out there, and then when they pulled up the tail number stuff, you're absolutely right. They weren't part of Flight 19 at all. They were training combat missions that just didn't go so well. Because remember, that's where the Navy that's where the Navy used to train, is off the coast of Florida. So Lord knows what's really out there, or their practice demolitions and things like that. But you're right, they haven't found any of those things. So you've got all these people that disappeared, and the thing that gets me, it was December in 45, so it's towards the end of World War II, and the military is still very active. They shouldn't be having problems like this. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing that gets me, is there shouldn't be an issue like that. They should be, we've been at war for 4 years. You think everything would worked out. And I know they say it was, a navigation problem, but it just, I don't know, man. Just to me, it doesn't make sense, because you're right. And then the next day they send out, or Robert Cox talks about compass failure and he's going to crash land, but instead of making it back, they turn back around again. Like they could have made it to land, but he turns around and he goes out towards the Keys again. So it's just crazy. They knew where they were, but they just had no compasses. They knew what general direction they were flying in, but then they flew off in a different direction for some odd reason. As I guess the commander of the flight called it. But you're right, it makes no sense.
I mean, to have 4 planes lose their navigation at the exact same time, and lose their direction of where they are going or where they're supposed to go. I mean, look, it's easy to get lost. When you're in nature, it's easy to get lost. Okay. But when you're in the air, you always know where the sun is. The sun goes east to west. You know that if it starts getting dark out, you look for certain constellations and stars and planets.
You look for Cyrus and North Star, right? Yeah.
So nature and the sky becomes your navigation. And the fact that they didn't do that with a minute to go here, where do you think they went?
I don't know, but what fascinates me is the boat, the Navy scrambled. What was that? They call it a PBM Mariner flying boat took off, and within 20 minutes they vanish, and there was 13 crew member on that. So it's not just the other planes. Now you got a plane with 13 guys that's just gone. That went looking for them. So it's like wherever it happened to them, it's statistically possible that it happened to that rescue boat or that rescue plane. So where is everyone? You're absolutely right. I see stuff like that. I mean, I hate saying vortex. I hate saying UFO. I hate saying stuff of that time, but it's possibly it.
Christian MacLeod, we call him the Cryptid Guy around here. If you're in Quebec or listening in France, it's Cryptid Guy, cryptidguy.com. This is Spaced Out Radio. When we return, the Alaskan Triangle with Christian MacLeod. This is Spaced Out Radio with host Dave Scott. All right, we're clear. I'm going to put you back in the green room. I'll be back here in a little bit, okay?
All right, brother.
Got about 5.5 minutes. I am back. We got 1 minute to go here. Let's bring Christian back in. And Christina, how are you? Rob Duvall, Driftwood, how you doing? Good to see you. Who else is joining us here? Lots of good people. Lots of good people. Thank you tonight to Alaska's greatest athlete, Sally Alka, Creepypasta, and Kitty Cattywhack for the super chats. Don't forget, you can also join our membership on our YouTube channel as well. You can shop at our Spaced Out Radio store. We do not have ugly swag, people. No ugly swag, so make sure you check it on out. And CaribouCon.com tomorrow. We launch for VIP tickets for the 2026 Caribou Con. And we're coming back in 5 seconds. Hour number 2 of Spaced Out Radio is kicked off. My name is Dave Scott. Thank you very much for tuning us in wherever you are on this beautiful planet we call Earth. Hey, we want to say hello to everyone tuning us in on our terrestrial affiliates around North America, digitally on every major podcast network. Our website, spacedoutradio.com. We have a plethora of features for you. Rock out to Bumblefoot, read the news wire, check out our swag as well. You can follow us on X at Spaced Out Radio, Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show, and on Patreon in the Space Travelers Club. The Desert Clam has set the password for tonight in the SOR Space Travelers Club. Raconteur is your password. Use it wisely, Space Travelers, as the Clam sets the password each and every night right here on Spaced Out Radio. Let's get to our good friend, Christian MacLeod, his website, cryptidguy.com, if you want to check it on out. We're talking Alaska's Triangle. Christian, these triangles seem to be a little bit everywhere. And you know, even in my area, there is said to be the Caribou Triangle.
Really?
Yes.
I've never heard that. How many people disappeared? Or how many people?
Many people have vanished. It's also a place for a hotbed of UFO sightings, landings, alien abductions, which always seems to be in those areas. It also has legendary cryptids from Bigfoot to Dogman to little people to forest dwellers and many others. And it is just something where there's even a place south of me, about an hour's drive, that they claim, First Nations people, that it is the center of the universe. It's another one of those places. But these triangles seem to be everywhere. Why are they always triangles, man? Let's get to that.
I don't know. You know what? I was looking at the map, you know, and I was looking at the Alaska Triangle map, and it's, where is it? Just right here. No, other way. And it's always like, it's like the biggest chunk. It goes from Barrow, Alaska to Anchorage to Juneau. And I've heard it's in different places too, but it's like that stretch. It's like almost, you know, 34% of Alaska. And it's always in this one specific area where it involves UFOs, cryptids, vortexes, quasars, things like that, different lights in the sky. And it's just always kind of weird. But what makes me really apprehensive about the Alaska Triangle, as far as it being a strange place, was it 20,000 people have disappeared since the 70s? 20,000.
It's less talked about, the Alaska Triangle, than is the Bermuda Triangle, the Dragon's Triangle, but way more disappearances have happened there that we know about in recent times.
And that, you know, and I think one of the biggest people that disappeared there was a senator. And the reason why I like this guy is, what was it? What's this guy's name?
Hale Boggs.
Hale, yeah. Senator Hale Boggs. Hale Boggs is one of these guys. He was actually a conspiracy guy. He was hell bent on saying that the Kennedy assassination was a whole conspiracy. It took more than multiple people, and everyone was very much a part of it. And of course, his plane vanishes. Now, whether or not that was an accident or not, we'll never know. But he was the one that actually brought the whole area to popularity when he vanishes. And I don't think they never found his plane. They have no idea what happened to him.
They didn't find any part of the plane. They didn't find anyone that was on it, any remains of anybody that was on it. And there were over 90 different vessels out there searching, both 40 military, 50 private planes, helicopters, snowmobiles. I mean, they had so many people involved in this. 3,600 hours of search time involved, and absolutely nothing, no trace of anything was ever found.
90 planes plus people on the ground. Think about that, all searching the same area. And they knew his flight path. They knew where he was going. And it wasn't a surprise, but how does that vanish? You know, there's a one that says, you know, it's Alaska's entirely large wilderness, raw earth, easy to get lost.
Right.
I'll be the first one to say easy to get lost, but when you have 90 aircraft following the trajectory of one plane from start to beginning start, and they just keep going over and over the same area for 2,600 or 3,600 hours. I'm sorry, there's something there. I'm throwing shenanigans out there. There's something wrong.
As well as people on the ground with snowmobiles, hikers,
Exactly.
people spreading out on foot. It was a huge grid search.
And it covered every possible trajectory. So, because like I said, they knew they was a set, you know, Sears representative. They know where he's going. It's his flight path he takes it every day, or every time he comes home, and boom, just gone. And then, you know, and that was in 72. And to this day, there's still, you know, nothing, absolutely nothing. So it's just one of these strange things where they really tried saying this one was UFO. There was a lot of people that said that there was a blip on the radar when they started having problems, and then when they lost radio communications, there was allegedly a blip on the radar again, and then the plane's gone. So if this was one of those cases where like the plane was taken by a UFO, or if that's ever actually happened, I would have to throw this one in there because the entire plane just vanishes. And with that many people and that much manpower, I'm sorry, if it had wrecked, they would have found it. I mean, they were doing on the ground. They did the same trajectory on the ground, and just like he was driving home, they followed that, you know. And then they were 90 planes in the air, and 50 of them were military. So I'm sorry, with that much technology and that much aircraft up there, something happened to that thing. Like it vanished. And again, this is another case where what happens to it? Is it a vortex? Is it a rip in time? I mean, what happens to these things? That's just one of my. But think about it, Dave. 20,000 people since the 70s, and you're telling me the United States government isn't even remotely interested in this, or they're not looking into this stuff? They're not going to send teams out there to find out what's going on. I mean, it makes no sense to me.
I see comments over here about the world of woo. The people that argue against the world of woo say that in this area, there are huge amounts of snowstorms. There are big glaciers, abandoned mines, crevasses in glaciers. Things can disappear. Snow can cover it quickly. But it doesn't account for the vast amount of stuff that happens there. It is over the plane crashes and hikers and people lost are over twice the national average for this area. And the sheer number is staggering at how many people disappear here, how many planes crash, and how many vessels of all kinds go missing completely. Just to have absolutely no trace of them ever found.
Well, I mean, you also look at it too. The one thing that when you get into northern British Columbia, the Yukon, Alaska, Northwest Territory, and in that upper levels, the animals are much more aggressive and much larger. Like you could see a 300-400 pound black bear running around South Carolina or southern Alberta, wherever it may be, wherever bears forage and live. You go up to that territory where you have brown bears, Kodiak bears, even polar bears, which get into the range of between 1,200 and 2,000 pounds, let alone the muskox, the moose, the wolf packs, the mountain lions, and everything in between. You're dealing with a lot of apex predators that have no fear of humans, and they see a human like they do a rabbit. They're going to try and take you down and use you for food. I mean, how many times have we heard about that? I mean, that's just the natural causes.
Yeah, but they don't eat plane wreckage. That's my thing. I can totally understand, apex predators, Bigfoot, Bigfoot, Dogman, throw that in there too. I've heard stories of plane crashes in Alaska. The guy lands and then there's nothing wrong. He crashes safely. Then the rescue party finds what's left of the plane, huge footprints next to it, and there's no survivors. How many times have we heard that story? But the wreckage is what gets me. Where'd it go? This thing, like the Senators plane, they were in the hour, within an hour, they were looking for this guy. And then nothing. And that's what just certain things like that baffle me, because it's like, what happens to the wreckage? They knew where it went down. They went there. It was gone. There was nothing there. Then they searched it. Then they continued to search it. Then they kept flying the same flight plan, looking for any kind of wreckage. And even if it had hit the water, they still would have found it. They had, and it was just nothing. And so it's just one of these things where it's a complete and total mystery. And I have to say, why is no one actually really looking into this for safety of people? I mean, these are citizens of the United States. These are citizens of Canada. These are citizens all over the world. And when they go to these places, they just vanish. Now, I can understand, maybe 15, 20% screwing up in the wilderness and running apex predators or not bringing the right survival gear. I can maybe even 30%. But you're talking 20,000 people, man.
Well, and what gets me is that even if this one flight could have fallen into some, fluke crevasse or hole and been covered up and you can't find, why can't they find any of the other ones? This is twice as many planes as crash anywhere else nationwide for the area, and they can't find a trace of any of them. Well, how do they all disappear?
And that's a really good point.
Disappearing crazy, but all of them?
No, but that's a very good point. The other thing that I have come to the conclusion about that area too is just the idea that a lot of these mountain caps, okay, when we think of snow, we don't think of glaciers. We don't think of the cold where the snow never melts. Mm-hmm. And some of the powder in those areas can go down 20, 30 feet. And when you sink into the powder, where the snow in those areas, it is very dry. It's not like snow on the West Coast or the East Coast that is very wet, very damp, and you make a good snowball with it and peg off your friend in the head, and when you do, you end up, looking like that. I mean, it's just, it's a horrible thing when you get wet snow. But when you get into the mountainous areas, like where I live, where the snow is extremely dry and doesn't compact, something can sink in there and you'll never see it again. So there is that natural cause. But I agree with you. The 20,000 people that has just completely vanished in that triangular area is scary. And the weird part about it is people still go in there.
Yeah, and that's the thing, because I mean, you'd think they'd like. I don't know. I personally wouldn't go there unless I was actually. If I was doing a cryptid research project, or if we had had a camera crew or something like that, and we had viable information that hey, in this general area there's been Bigfoot sighting, Sasquatch, Dogman, whatever, no problem. But just to walk in there. No, it just doesn't make sense to me. There's got to be some kind of reward for going in there, and as of lately, it doesn't seem like there is one. And again, the thing that gets me, Dave, is I hate going back to the extraterrestrial stuff, but sometimes that's all that makes sense to me. It's got to be like a more powerful component than we're aware of. There's a piece of the equation missing, and you can't solve for X if you don't have it.
Right.
And to me, I just feel like there's something missing. because I just don't see why are so many planes going down in this general area? And even with the Bermuda Triangle, you know, we've got planes going down, but you know, they have, well, it's the same story. Loss of compass heading, radios don't work, things just kind of crash out, instrumentation goes out, and then the next thing you know, they just vanish. But you can't find any of the wreckage. You don't even see oil slicks on top of the water. You know, and that's what I don't understand. Is just there's just nothing there that shows any kind of wreckage. I mean, there's just no evidence, and that's what I don't understand.
Yeah, it's one of the mysteries that we have. What other triangles are confusing to a lot of people? I know there's the Bridgewater Triangle.
Well, Bridgewater. Yeah, we did a lot of basically the big three. We did the Bridgewater. I'm sorry, we did Bermuda, Alaska, and Dragon Triangle. And that to me,
Dragon, I don't know about that one.
Oh well, that one's fascinating. Christina did some information research. I'm going to let her tell you about that. It's fascinating.
Basically it's kind of on the opposite side of the. It's on the Pacific side, right where the Bermuda Triangle is in the Atlantic. On the opposite side of the Earth, basically in the Pacific Ocean, is where the Dragon's Triangle is. And it has been, there's been notoriety in the Dragon's Triangle ever since a fleet of Kublai Khan was lost there. Very, very, very long time ago in Fort Minot.
Yeah, I mean, when you talk about the fleet that was going to conquer for Kublai Khan disappearing there, I mean, that's almost, you know, that's right up there with
1281.
Yeah, I mean, that's right up there. So
1281, Kublai Khan's fleet. There's storms there, and there's, you know, they account, just like the Bermuda Triangle, a lot of people blame hurricanes and unforeseen storms on causing a lot of the stuff. There's the same thing there. There are tsunamis, there are storms, heavy amounts of storms in that area, but there's also a ton of UFO reports in that area. And the area got the Dragon Triangle name, and part of it is because it is very common for planes in there to report seeing a sea serpent with wings in the area. So it's very common, and they say that that's when their instruments go out when they see this. So there's been over 1,000 vessels lost there since the 1950s in the Dragon's Triangle. And what's interesting to me is that the Bermuda Triangle, for most people in popular culture, is the most well known of the triangles, the most, I guess, most often spoken about. Dragon's Triangle for me would be second. It was the second one I heard about. And the Alaska Triangle, not a lot of people have known about until the last few years, but it goes in opposite order of the number of disappearances. The Alaska Triangle is just huge in the number of disappearances. The Dragon's Triangle is probably second, and the Bermuda Triangle is responsible for less, only maybe a little over 1,000 people's disappearances in the last since the 1950s. And the Dragon's Triangle is probably about 5 times that, and the Alaska Triangle is just huge.
Yeah, there's a little message here. The Japanese government sent out a huge ship of flow signs. I remember that, and it completely vanished.
Not one of them ever found.
And it's just, now that's deep water. A lot of people think there's a lot of piracy out there, and what they'll do is they'll simply just kill everyone on board, take what they want, and just sink everything. The other thing, people think that it's a place to scuttle ships for insurance claims, things of that nature, because the water's so deep. But the truth of the matter is that some of that might be true, but it can't be all true, because you've got so many people and ships that disappear out there. There's got to be some survivors, but you know where they go. You know what always makes me laugh too about that, you know, that big serpent thing. I wonder if that was like the prelude to like the kaiju mythology for like Godzilla and things like that, because that's right in that general area, because that's kind of what they're describing out there, these massive, you know, sea serpents or Leviathan, if you want to get biblical, you know.
And the Japanese government's response was to say that a volcano had exploded in that area when the ship disappeared. And that was their, it wasn't, you know, anything supernatural. It was the volcano exploded underwater, and that's why we lost the ship. But reports stated that volcano wasn't as big as they said.
Well,
and
they could-
It
they
didn't
could-
explain it.
They didn't know that they could detect that underwater,
Mhm.
and they could bypass that.
Right.
That's because you're talking 7 or 8 miles deep. I mean, you're gonna see that.
But that was their cover story.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't believe that either.
Oh.
So I mean, you've got all these places. And Dave, here's what I want to look. If you ever look at them around the world, it's like if you were to section the world up in like pieces, it's like they're almost equilateral triangles. Like when you look at the world in a flat map and you just kind of divide it, where all these triangles are, including that Madagascar one that you're, and you correlate that with the natural ley lines, it almost looks like it's done by design. And it's very intriguing. It's like, is that natural occurrences? Do we just have these weak points in the atmosphere where the magnetic anomalies are going to come in? Is that coming in through the atmosphere because these places are also where the weakest part of the atmospheres are, or what? We just, it's just all these questions start popping up, and you can't find anyone to really answer them. NASA doesn't even comment on this stuff.
Yeah, and again, this similarly to the Bermuda Triangle, the magnetic anomalies can't be quantified to where, oh yeah, this is exactly this much different all the time. The range is huge for how much it differs from where it should be.
Do you think weather patterns play a part in this?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that, Dave.
I'm sorry.
Do you think weather patterns play a part in this?
I think it's the other way around. I think this stuff is causing the weather patterns that are so different there.
I don't know about that, but I will say this. If the weather patterns had anything to do with it, that's fine. But up till now, the technology, I mean, we got boats that can hit the North Sea with no problem. Take those rogue waves, and just be thrown around like, nothing. And they're designed for that. So even if the weather patterns were so askew that they would just hit them with rough seas, they're designed for that. Now, some of them may not have been, in the past, they may not have been, but I think for the amount of time that it's been and for how many people have disappeared over there in the recent years, I think the boat technology itself is they've lost submarines too. I mean, that's the other thing. We're not just talking about boat vessels. There's submarines that have disappeared in this whole area. What happened to Amelia Earhart? That's not in this general area. That's closer to. They found her.
Yeah, they found the plane.
But I think it's. I don't even think it has anything to do with Earth anomalies. I think there's something completely different that we don't know about. Like I said, it only happens in certain parts of the world. And like you were saying, if you were to get a global map, spread it out, and put all the triangles you've heard about it, you're going to find they're almost equal distance apart. And it almost is like you're cubing up the planet. And you'll also find those are the weak points in the hemisphere where, I'll give you an example, where JFK launches out of Florida, that goes right over the Bermuda Triangle because it's a weak spot in the atmosphere. So I don't know, it's just, I don't know if that has anything to do with it. I don't know if that's a global anomaly, but there has to be something else we don't know. Because you're right, there's too many of them. If it was just one or two, it makes sense, but you've got them all over the planet. The Bridgewater Triangle, that's another one. Look where that is. The triangle you were talking about, the Caribou Triangle. I mean, look the distance that would be. You've got all these areas. You've got them in South America, Antarctica. They've always got you. Antarctica, they've got their areas out there too. So it's fascinating.
We have Christian MacLeod coming into the second half of Spaced Out Radio tonight. And when we return from the break, we're going to get into the Bridgewater Triangle. Everything from UFOs, aliens, giant snakes, puck wedgies, Sasquatch, and even grandma's undergarments found in the Bridgewater Triangle. Yes, I know it sounds grotesque, but you know what? You can't make this stuff up. We'll be right back on Spaced Out Radio.
You're listening to Spaced Out Radio with your host, Dave Scott.
You know, that'll never grow old for me. I might even get that tattooed on me.
I will allow it. I will allow it.
I may get that tattoo.
I feel like right here.
Yeah, right on your chest.
In memoriam. In loving
If there was
memory.
ever a reason for an ass tattoo, that would be
Oh, yeah, there's a good one.
That's the right skin color. Yeah.
He wants a shamrock on his.
Put shamrock on my butt.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
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 I know. Hey.
You're doing great tonight, buddy.
That's not me. The kid's doing great. She's doing awesome. You're doing awesome. Everyone's doing awesome. It's a good team.
You're so humble.
I know. Grandma's underpants. I know about the puck wedgies, the Bigfoot, the UFOs, the Dover Demon,
Don't forget the butt wedgies.
the butt wedgies.
Ooh.
There are
But,
thongs everywhere in the Bridgewater Triangle.
The grandma's underwears. That's dangerous. That's dangerous right there. Hey, how'd that concert go, man? Did you have a good time?
Oh, yeah.
Did
Yeah.
they put on a good show?
Yeah. It was incredible.
I could see them putting on a good show, man.
Yeah, man. I think the two opening acts were just as impressive.
Who opened for them?
Go open.
Apocalyptica.
I love them.
Yeah. And Lindsay Sterling.
Oh,
Yeah, those are-
violin. She's amazing.
Yeah. It
Did
was
you ever
pretty
see her? Did you ever see her version of Who Wants to Live Forever?
She closed with Led Zeppelin's was it Kashmir?
Oh, yeah, had to be.
Yeah, it may have been Kashmir.
Well, she's awesome. I'm a big fan of hers.
Yeah.
But, that Apocalypta, man, I've got them. Man, they've been around for a long time.
Yeah, they were really good.
Yeah, they did all Metallica stuff, or did they do?
They were doing a lot of Metallica, just a lot of metal all around. It was pretty impressive.
I remember last time I went to a decent concert.
Yeah, it's been a long time for me.
I love concerts.
Oh, me too.
There's a Stevie Nicks one happening, and I'm debating because the tickets are $250 each.
If you want to listen to Stevie Nicks, just go to your local farm that has goats.
Yeah.
South Park did that.
Miss Nicks.
Miss Nicks, get Miss Nicks.
Get Miss
I have
Nicks.
your autograph.
Shake the guy's autograph book.
I got her. I got Stevie Nicks.
I've got Stevie Nicks. I got her.
That was funny. I think the last really, really good concert I saw was Woodstock '99. That was a long time ago.
Showing your age, baby girl. I know.
You're older than me.
Yes, but
We got about 40 seconds.
no problem. So Robin's sick, huh?
Yeah, poor
And
thing.
that's funny because I'm looking at it right now live on another podcast.
Liar.
I'm messing with you, Dave.
Good 27 seconds. Excuse me. Big thank you tonight to Kitty Cattywack, Creepypasta, Sally Alka, and Alaska's greatest athlete for the super chats. And welcome Christian Lee to the YouTube membership as well. Thank you very much. Bad cop, no donut. Here we go. We're into the second half of Spaced Out Radio tonight. My name is Dave Scott. Thank you for tuning us in wherever you are on this beautiful planet we call Earth. We want to remind all of you before we bring in Christian MacLeod that if you've missed portions of this show or others, you can always check out our free archives on YouTube or any major podcast network. Website is spacedoutradio.com. We have a plethora of features for you. Rock out to Bumblefoot, read the news wire, check out our swag. You can follow us on X at Spaced Out Radio, Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show, and on Patreon in the Space Travelers Club. From cryptidguy.com, Christian MacLeod is here, along with his lovely partner, the better looking of the two, Cryptid Girl, Christina. She doesn't have a last name. She's like Madonna, Beyonce, Pele, Cristiano, there we go. The great one, Wayne Gretzky. That's 2 names. Welcome back.
Thanks for having us.
Bridgewater Triangle. Tell us about it.
Okay, well, Bridgewater Triangle, it's been a place where things have been happening for hundreds of years, but Lauren Coleman was the one who came up with the name in 1983 in one of his books. And he's actually from Portland, Maine. But we all know who Lauren Coleman is. I've actually had the privilege of talking to him once. He was very nice to me, but very, very matter-of-fact kind of guy. And what he did is he started correlating all these incidents since, was it the 1700s?
Yes, Algonquin tribes.
The Algonquin tribes.
Reporting for...
And it's one of these places where people have disappeared. It's a place, puckwudgies, apple snitches, Bigfoot, Dover demons, UFOs. Am I missing anything?
All kinds of swamp monsters.
Swamp monsters.
Reported there.
Underpants demons, So, nothing, Dave, nothing.
Didn't crack a smile.
No, he's doing that on purpose. So, it's just one of these places where strange things happen. I've seen several specials on it, and I remember one in particular where the guy saw the Dover demon, and Dover demon apparently it looks like a little alien, but it was trying to grab a dog at one point in time, and it climbed over a rock wall. But there's always stories about people disappearing out there, and it's still very active even to this day.
How many times has the Dover demon been seen?
Sorry, what?
How many times has a Dover demon been seen?
I know of at least 3 in the early 80s, and then one like in, I think, 97. Have you ever seen a picture of that thing?
It looks like a miniature gray alien.
It's exactly what it looks like to me.
Yep.
It's very interesting to see how all of these different creatures seem to kind of play out in different places. Your thought on why so much is happening in this Bridgewater Triangle?
I think it's just another one of these places on the planet where everything just kind of crescendos to the weird or the unexplainable. I think it's just there's certain anomalies. When you go back to the Native Americans having problems with these places, then obviously there's something wrong. But I don't know if it's just a culmination of just points in the earth where things just naturally occur, magnetic anomalies, things of that nature. But the whole area is very much swampy. I don't know if you've ever seen.
Big swamp.
It's like a big swamp. It really is. So maybe that has something to do with it too. I mean, I really don't know. It's just the stuff that like the Bigfoot sightings there, when you read about them, are very strange. They're like sometimes they report them as like very different looking. They'll have more human face like kind of thing. They do like the mind. That's one of the few places I've heard a lot of stuff about mind speak. A lot of stuff happens like allegedly it's mind speak. And I know you and I aren't going to agree on this, but I just don't. I don't buy that. I'm 99% sure that doesn't happen.
Well, just like in the Alaska Triangle, we didn't really get to it, but in the Alaska Triangle, there's Native American legends about a shape-shifting creature living there that can turn into like an otter, like human/otter size, giant otter kind of thing. but that's supposed to beckon people into the wilderness. And the legend is that it can appear as people that you know, sort of similar to what a lot of people think a Wendigo can do. But it appears as somebody that they know and calls them in further into the woods and helps them get lost. But in their traditions, it's more of a giant otter kind of creature that can shapeshift. In the Algonquin traditions in the Bridgewater Triangle, they involve more swamp creatures because that's what they see there. But their descriptions of a Bigfoot like creature are a lot more like the Florida swamp ape kind of descriptions that it's usually covered in some kind of mossy kind of stuff and coming out of the water more. So,
well, that could just be them trying to relax and the monster sticks your hair. The other thing that the Bridgewater Triangle has a lot more paranormal activity associated with it over the centuries, and I think that's a little bit different. And as we've talked about, the other areas, they all have their paranormal attributes, but the Algonquins and the natives in this area pretty much said this was a place for resting souls and strange spirits. So that's one of those things that I think you have to look at the history of a place. And I'm not exactly sure how big. The Bridgewater Triangle isn't as big as most triangles. It really isn't. But it's still an area of interest because so many strange things have happened there. And what's cool is if you look at it this way, for me, what's cool, it's encapsulated in a smaller area, but they still get the reports of the same things that happen in these massive amounts of space. So it's just fascinating to me.
I find it very interesting, about these puckwudgies.
Yeah, little people. Miniature Bigfoots, man. I love those things. Puckwudgies, do you know about them? Like, or the other, where they started coming from, or their folklore on them?
Give us the history on them.
The Puckwudgies. Now this is Algonquin. They're little people, Cherokee little people. It's basically the same thing, but they're described in two ways. Some of them are described basically just like miniature Bigfoots. They're very intelligent. They're very strong. They're very quick, but they're very small, and they tend to live underground. And they are fascinated by shiny objects. And that particular incident is all throughout the Native American folklore and the northeastern corridor of the United States. And even the Cherokee Little People that are up by Western Carolina University in Silva, the same thing. They are incredibly mischief. They don't like most people. For some reason, they hang out in graveyards. A lot of times they're seen in graveyards. When I was getting my master's at Western, I actually got lost once at night, and I could have sworn I saw a little guy just run across the street. I don't, that's neither here nor there, but that whole area is just saturated down by Jewel Color Rock, things of that nature. It was just saturated by little people folklore. And of course, we have it in Mount Pisgah and the Asheville area. But they're very prone to mischief. They're not nice to people, and they're incredibly strong. In some of the Puckwudgie folklore, and especially the Bridgewater Triangle, they're out to do people harm. They're trying to get them. They'll try to get them to follow them out there, and then they'll jump them and usually kill them or eat them or something of that nature. It's not a nice thing. But Puckwudgies, they're also called apple snitches. And an apple snitch was someone who used to steal apples, and that's where that came from. But that's all New England folklore. But that goes all the way up, even to the upper coast of Maine, Nova Scotia, things like that. They all have tales of little people. But in the Bridgewater Triangle, they're referred to as Puckwudgies.
Now, for people who may want to picture it in their mind, I guess the most accurate way to picture this would be using a Star Wars term where they almost look like Ewoks.
Yeah, well, Ewoks look more like teddy bears. These things look like, like I said, there's two or three ways they're described in the Cherokee folklore. There's short, hairy versions that would kind of, I guess, look like Ewoks. There's another version where they're a different color, like they're a dark brown, and they don't have any hair all over their body. And then there's the other ones where they're just kind of like miniature people, but very, very violent. So, but none of them have ever been described as what we would call friendly. There's some you don't want to run into because their main goal is to trick you and then basically steal what you have and kill you. So they're not what you want to hang out with. And specifically when you're talking about the triangle in this area and up in the north, they're considered tricksters, and they're always trying to basically steal whatever you have on you and then leave you for dead. And that's one of the problems in that particular area. So I would not go looking for puckwudgies, says I. The little people will.
Not very fun. What brings them out? You mentioned shiny objects.
They like shiny objects, or like gold, trinkets, things like that. But that's just stuff in the folklore. Maine is full of short French people. Wow. That's cold, man. That's cold. That's only part of Maine. But I think it's greed. They're very greedy.
They sound like the Bigfoot version of a leprechaun.
Leprechauns are cool. They have belt buckles, man. Shoe buckles.
What else is in the Bridgewater?
Like I said, Dover Demon, puckwudgies, Bigfoot, but we already talked about how he's described. A lot of people think a lot of paranormal activity. They think it's a resting place for a lot of spirits that can't find complete closure, and they go there and then they wreak havoc. Very, very paranormal.
So that's interesting. There's more ghostly reports there than UFO type stuff.
Yeah, I mean, there's UFO stuff there, but they do have what you would call as unfriendly spirits, and the spirits will actually try to trick you into the swamps and bring you out. It's one of these places where, like, if you hear someone calling for help, in the middle of the night in the swamp, you probably don't want to go out there. There's got to be something else, either puckwudgie or an evil spirit trying to do you harm.
Something trying to fool you.
Exactly.
Well, that's kind of creepy.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's that's New England for you.
Do you think then that these creatures are there, or are they coming in and out of dimensions?
You know how I feel about the dimensional stuff.
You love it.
But when you're talking paranormal, it's possible. We don't know. Again, this is where people claim to be experts. We don't know what includes with the paranormal. Is it possible transdimensional travel? Of course. Different beings having different abilities in different dimensions. Yeah, totally, definitely. I mean, it could be an evil spirits. It could be demonic in nature. We don't know. But as far as what the natives said about the area, that was definitely a place where evil spirits and malicious spirits would dwell, and then they would like to take your life. And that's, I think that happens in that particular folklore. I think what happened with that is it branched out and it went into the puckwudgies and the UFOs and everything else. Because anytime you read about anything in the Bridgewater Triangle, it's not friendly. It's not some friendly spirit that's trying to say hi or make contact. It's not Harry and the Hendersons type Bigfoot. It's something trying to kill you or eat you or steal what you got and then torture you or things of that nature. So it's not, whatever's in there is not good. And it's one of these things where I don't think you'll ever find a story about the Bridgewater Triangle, that anything friendly happened. It's considered a hotspot of death and misery.
Yeah, nothing there sounds like, yeah, I want to go there. It sounds fun. But what you say about how can you not hear about all of these triangles where so many disappearances happen without a trace, complete poof disappearances, and so many sightings of so many weird things, especially UFOs and stuff? How can you not think, wormholes and vortexes? How can you not think that this is probably a doorway somewhere, that there's got to be something coming in and out of this place?
I don't know. What about these giant snakes that are said to live in the swamps there?
Well, I wonder if they're like the northern or the Abenaki or I'm sorry, what was the tribe there? The Algonquin version of the Ugatinnya, which would be a large serpent with a diamond and horns, and it was basically a water spirit. But again, these are things you don't want to mess with. We actually have, living in Appalachia, we have many stories about the Ugatinnya. in this particular area. And it's one of these things where if you see it and it doesn't see you, you're lucky. And if it does see you, you're not going to have a good time. So it's one of these things. Any kind of serpent spirit in the water, never good. I've never, and that goes to Viking folklore. Even, I mean, look biblically, Leviathan. I mean, the Leviathans were so nasty. There was two of them once, and God said, only one, and killed the other one. So, you know, you're talking about end of the world type prophecy stuff when these things come out. So, damn it, dude, about the little people. I'm sorry.
Oh, New Brunswick.
Yeah. But it's just one of these things where certain folklores go throughout all the mythologies and go through all the cultures, but they all say the same thing about the same type of entity. And when you're dealing with the serpent, it's never good. And I'm sure that's exactly the same thing. But like I said, the Kutina is considered a water serpent, a water entity, a water, I don't want to say monster, but like a water spirit.
Is there a big compilation of people going missing in the Bridgewater Triangle as well?
It's not a big population, but I mean, people do go missing in there. And like I said, it's a smaller area. It's
much smaller. It's between a few cities in Massachusetts. It's not this huge, geographical zone like the other three triangles we talked about.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of these things where things do disappear, but they're not as often. I think what that all goes down to though is also one of these things where it's been going on for so long that so many people are aware of it that you have people that probably go they go camping out there, something happens, and again, it's just swampy area. And I don't know if you've ever been. Well, I know you've been in swampy areas, but if you want to go out and camp in a swampy area or something like that, it's not the best thing to do because you could at night you get turned around, you could slip, you could fall, hit your head, drown in the way. It's just one of these places where it's just dangerous. In the 70s is when they had the Bridgewater Bigfoot, and some people went missing, and of course they blamed him for that. But in 78 they had the Hockomock Swamp Monster, and again a few people went missing on that. But it's just one of these things where it doesn't take a whole lot of people to go missing because it's a smaller area, and it's one of those. I think it's just geographical. I think it also it's just a lot of history passed down, from generation to generation in that specific area. Basically, stay out of this area. It's just not safe.
Yeah, but it's not geographically. It's not as big of an area that you'd have plane crashes going, disappearances and stuff in it. It's a small triangle of land in the panhandle of Massachusetts, which is relatively small state.
You've mentioned a few times it's a small area. What kind of an area are we looking at here?
Well, it's geographically, like I said, most of it's swamp, but there's a state hospital in there.
It's roughly 200 square miles.
Yeah, it's 200 square miles, and it's got some haunted inns and things like that in there too. But it's just, I think what happens is the folklore, all of it just kind of culminates. But I mean, if you think about 200 square miles, in a small town, or encompassing a few small towns, that's actually pretty big. So I guess you could correlate that with, maybe some of the things that happen in the bigger triangles and just move the decimal point. And it's probably going to be about average. But if you weren't going to do it that way, but I think some of the other things that happen in there, or some of the things they're seeing is, they also have great panthers that are seen in there. There's thunderbird reports in that specific area. The Astronaut Ledge, it's a cliff diving area over there. Phantom fires happens a lot in there, and you also have
What do you mean phantom fires?
Phantom fires just appear out of nowhere, and then they'll disappear out of nowhere. I mean, they'll start, burn something, and just vanish, go out on their own. And a lot of people
question I have for you is we got about 4 minutes to go here before we go to break. At the top of the hour, Christian MacLeod is our guest tonight on Spaced Out Radio. Thunderbirds.
Mm-hmm.
These fascinate me. I don't believe them that they are in our time zone, but I do believe that maybe people are actually, when they have these sightings or occurrences with them, that they are actually looking into a different period of time, kind of like a quick Facebook reel that is going on in live time in front of the person. And that's what I believe. I mean, to see a 40-foot bird flying through the sky just doesn't do it for me right now. Doesn't do it for me at all. I want to believe, but I do not. What's your thoughts on the Thunderbird?
I think sometimes they might be mistaken for something else. You know, you have the California condor. I know it's like that's supposed to be like geographically locked, but you're talking about a bird that's so big. Once they get in the air, they just start riding. The thermos. So, is it possible for a bird like that to just fly that far off course and be seen somewhere in the Midwest? And usually, most thunderbirds are seen in the California desert regions. But I'm kind of with you on that, man. I can't see a bird that big. And look at all the airplanes we have in the sky at one given point in the day. And how many reports do those have of like running into Thunderbirds? I mean, we get one every couple of years, maybe. But is it possible that there's an opening somewhere in the atmosphere where things can, get lost in time space? It's possible. It would, again, 20 years ago, I would have said no. But these days, I'm a little more open-minded when it comes to this stuff because there's no way to explain it. But I think some of it might be explained by, just maybe running into some very large eagles, maybe some condors that, and what I think happens is they'll see these things flying and maybe they see the shadow, and the shadow is so much bigger than what the real animal is. And I think that's part of it. But it would not surprise me if there was some kind of anomaly where something would just pop up or get sucked into a vortex and maybe show up and then disappear. I wouldn't be surprised.
Do you think either of you think it's possible that Native American stories, legends about Thunderbirds might be experiences of them seeing UFOs and not being able to describe it any other way?
I personally do not.
No, I don't, because the way when they see UFOs, they depict them as UFOs. They draw them.
Absolutely. But, and I mention this as I have learned about the wilderness and the outdoors the last few years, that I've been trying to get a little bit better in learning my surroundings near SOR headquarters. And one of the things that I always talk about is, or that I've talked about a number of times on the show, but that I've been taught, is know your poop. When you're out in the wilderness, know your poop.
You better. That can save you.
Can just imagine, like, when we go around where these Thunderbird sightings are, we don't see trays painted. We don't see cars painted. We don't see rocks painted with Thunderbird feces. We don't see giant nests. Well, you can answer that. Well, maybe they live in a cave. Okay, I can accept that. But the droppings would be massive. Like, you would literally paint a car. If you have a blue car, it's going to be painted white or whatever color it comes up.
And that's if there's no damage.
Yes, exactly. But we're going to continue on with Christian MacLeod, the Cryptid Guy, after this break. He's going to stick with us through hour 3 next.
You're listening to Spaced Out Radio with your host, Dave Scott.
All right, we are clear. We got about 6 minutes, guys. I'm just going to take a quick break here, okay? All right, get you back in the green room. We'll be right back, everyone. Guys back in. Yeah.
You.
Turn the music down. I don't want to get copyright infringement.
That was Bumbaleo. No one here knows that.
Gypsy King.
No one here is going to even hear that.
Any questions in hour 3 for Christian and Christine, Cryptid Guy and Cryptid Gal? Please put them in capital letters. We're going to play Swamp Dweller here. It'll be about 4 minutes, and then we'll bring you back in, okay?
Cool. No problem.
All right. Thank you tonight to Alaska's greatest athlete, Jeremy Jones, Kitty Caddywhack, Creepypasta, and Sally Elka for the super chats. And thank you to Christian for joining our YouTube membership. We greatly appreciate your love and support. Let's have some fun here in hour 3 with your questions coming on up. And we go from there. Yeah. Our store is always open on our website. Make sure you check that on out. Here we go. Here comes the third and final hour of Spaced Out Radio tonight. Good to have you with us. My name is Dave Scott. We appreciate you tuning us on in as Christian MacLeod is going to continue right through the hour here on tonight's show. But first, we want to say hello to all of you tuning us in on our terrestrial affiliates around North America, digitally on every major podcast network. Our website, spacedoutradio.com. We have a plethora of features for you. Rock out to Bumblefoot, read the news wire, check out our swag as well. You can follow us on X at Spaced Out Radio, Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show, and on Patreon in the Space Travelers Club. The Desert Clam has set the password for tonight in the SOR Space Travelers Club. Raconteur. Raconteur is your password. Use it wisely, Space Travelers, as the Clam sets his password each and every night right here on Spaced Out Radio. Let's head to the swamp.
Hello and welcome to Spaced Out Radio's Swamp. I'm Swamp Dweller, and tonight I'm going to take you on a mystic journey of the unknown, sharing tales of monsters, legends, and nightmares. Welcome to the Spaced Out Radio Swamp. I used to live in a trailer park. It was in decent shape at the time, mostly full of elderly people who wanted a nice but small space, cheap rent, and perhaps a garden to take care of. Relative to most trailer parks I've seen, it was large. It had what most would consider blocks, but not sidewalks. For some reason, my high school assigned a bus stop that was a 5-block, 20-plus minute walk, even though there was a stop closer to my residence. I lived on the main road, but toward the back. It started out straight from the front and made a big swooping curve, like a pirate's hook, toward the back corner, which is closest to where I was. For reference, approximately 70 to 80 trailers fit on this main road. All of the side streets branched off this road into an NS versions of the same name. The first stop for the school bus was the one that I was assigned. Before it ventured through the whole trailer park, so I'm still confused as to why my stop was all the way toward the front when the bus had to pass my actual trailer anyway. It was a classic Western New York winter Monday, early 2008, and I began my walk 30 minutes before my pickup time. The roads had some ice, but were not completely iced over. Instead of following the full curve toward the front of the trailer park, I usually went down my friend's street and walked the remaining 5 blocks worth toward the front. It was on this street that a car pulled out of a driveway and began driving in my direction. I'm unsure which trailer it belonged to, but it was within 2 doors downrange from my friend's house. My friend used to walk with me, but at this point, I don't think we were close anymore, since I would have waited for her otherwise. It wasn't unusual for a car in the trailer park to be driving at 6:30 a.m., but since it was winter, it was still dark as nighttime. However, it was weird that the car didn't just pass me. If you're up that early, don't you have somewhere to be or better things to do than tail high schoolers on the way to their bus stop? They were following me at a slow pace at about 5 to 10 miles per hour, if that. I was a fast walker in general, but it's not like I was walking faster than a normal idling car speed. It didn't help that I had my French horn with me, since that got pretty heavy after a while and wouldn't have made the best weapon in the hands of a 14-year-old 5'7", 120-pound female with no prior self-defense training. I've corrected that since, though. I got that bad gut feeling as soon as I realized the car was idly stalking rather than passing by. The car's distance from me varied. Sometimes they'd be a block back, and others they'd be right behind me. But never did the driver's side window end up level to where I was, nor did the driver say anything. I also kept looking back frequently, since the car wasn't very loud, so as to make sure the driver hadn't just parked it and gotten out to swipe me, or whatever their plan was. I think this made it obvious that I was aware of their presence. They tailed me for a while before pulling off into a side street and disappearing. Probably when they knew I was heading toward a bus stop populated with other kids, or perhaps they were looking for a less wary target. To this day, I have no idea who it was, if they lived there, or if it was just someone hanging out waiting for someone to creep on. I was more focused on moving quickly toward the bus stop than stopping to check the license plate. Like I said, the car wasn't always right there, and I don't have the best vision anyway. This only happened once. That afternoon, I mentioned to the lady who drove the bus that a creep had followed me that morning and asked if she would be able to pick me up directly at my house from that point on. For the remainder of the time I lived there, she obliged, as did most substitute bus drivers, even though it wasn't officially on their list. Sometimes I'm a little road ragey with buses, but when I remember my incident, I'm no longer mad that kids get dropped off right at home now, at least where I live. It may be annoying, but at least they're safe.
Thank you, Swamp Dweller, for another creepy story. If you want more just like that, head on over to YouTube, type in Swamp Dweller, ring that bell, hit subscribe. Thousands of stories just like that for you to listen to each and every time. Let's bring back in Christian MacLeod. We call him the Cryptid Guy around here, hanging on out with us throughout the night. Normally we go to Robin Haynes each and every week at this time, but she is not feeling very well. She is under the weather. And so we bring Christian back in. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great, man. I'll try to channel Robin for you. That's not working.
Question for one of my listeners. Dave is so horrible. Why do we like him?
Because he's a cool guy.
Well, he's just rubbing it in after the World Series.
Oh.
He's a Toronto Blue Jays fan when I'm a New York Yankees fan.
Yeah.
You know, and it was just a great World Series. It really was.
It went quick this year, man. The baseball season went fast. We usually go to we like the minor league up here in Nashville. We see the tourists a lot, and it flew by, man. Usually, we go to half the games, and we didn't even make it. We only made about 5 or 6 of them.
Well, so many were called for rain.
Yeah, that's true.
I got to tell you, man, I love minor league baseball.
Yeah, me too.
It's very pure.
Yeah.
Very pure. I love it.
And there's like a different feeling out there. Those guys, they just want to be out there so much. And they're not making hardly any money. I mean, they're not making hardly any money. So they just really, they do it for the love of the game. That's what I like about it. That's the best. When you want to see the love of the game, that's where you see it right there, minor league ball.
I agree with you there. Man. It's always good. Always, always good. Let's start off with an audience question here. Let's start off with, in the studio, what are your thoughts on MH Flight 370 or Flight MH 370? Because I still research it and try to keep up with it after 12 years.
I've heard so many different conspiracies. I've heard that the plane was shot down. I've heard that it was forced down. But one thing all these conspiracies have in common is because of the particular people that were on them. Apparently, there was a lot of scientists that were on these, and specific scientists. And I don't know if it was germological or something else, or physicists, but there was a bunch of very, very intelligent people on that plane. And when it vanished, it hurt some of the industries, specifically, I think it was pharmaceutical. But it would not surprise me if those people were abducted or taken. And the other thing is, didn't they find a piece of that wreckage like somewhere off of Madagascar? Like they found part
So
of it.
they say. We still don't.
Yeah, we never heard anything about that. I've also heard that it was completely just taken out. They killed the box on it, and then they landed it somewhere, and they just took everyone hostage. I don't know. It could be one of those any number of scenarios. I don't necessarily think those people are dead. But
Here's what I know about it that caught me off guard. I don't think it was aliens. That is the narrative that has been pushed around the last couple of years by a gentleman named Ashton Forbes. I don't think it's that at all. There were, I believe, 40 Chinese nationalists, military nationalists, with electronic warfare specialty as their specialty. And I totally butchered that sentence. I apologize. Let's try that again. There were, I think, 40 Chinese nationalist military members who specialized in electronic warfare on the plane. And I believe personally that the plane was diverted to Diego Garcia, which is a secretive base in the area. You can't land there. Nobody can land there. It's like an Area 51 in the middle of the Pacific Ocean there. And I think that they went after them. I do. There was probably something on the plane, because here's the weird part about it. Let's rewind back in time where there was no waterproof cell phones. People were ringing the phones of their loved ones who were on that plane, and the phones were ringing. Back then, when a phone went in the water, it died. So what happens when your phone is off? It immediately goes to voicemail. It doesn't ring. It goes straight to voicemail. The other issue was, at just before that point, Facebook had introduced the little blue dot that showed that you were on Messenger. And some of these people were popping up on Facebook Messenger as being active. So if their phones are dead, how are their profiles showing that they are active online on Facebook at that time?
Well, I mean, that's you're 100% true on that too. But I mean, there's the correlation between the Chinese war specialists and the scientists. Dude, you can't tell me someone didn't grab these people. There's a reason for that. There's a reason for them that we just don't know what their specialty was. And I honestly think that plane landed somewhere. And I think you're right. I think it landed somewhere. I think everyone on board was either given the option of play ball or, something's going to happen. But I don't think that plane went down anywhere. I think it's just another, black op for some reason. Because let's face it, I mean, maybe those Chinese were defecting and this was a whole plan. We don't know. But to get that kind of technology, what would a government go to, what wouldn't they go through to get it?
Yeah, and I would agree with you on that.
I think Canada did it.
Probably. Blame Canada. Let's just blame them for everything.
They used to hit them with maple syrup, and the next thing you know, they woke up. Where the hell
You
am I?
never know. You definitely never know.
Woke up wearing red and white. They didn't know what happened.
All right. While we're waiting for more questions from our audience tonight, I want to ask you, what do you think? Let's go down the conspiratorial line here for a second. When it comes to cryptids, UFOs, paranormal, those are the ones I want to focus on. What do you think is the best conspiracy theory in each of the genre?
Well, that's a good one. UFO, best conspiracy. I'm going to go with Eisenhower making a deal with the Greys for technology. I think that's one of my favorite conspiracies. For those you don't know, allegedly Eisenhower, and then later Nixon, and then allegedly Bush and Ford, and then Bush, 1 and 2, had communications with aliens, but there was the deal was they had to basically let people be abducted and experimented on for various technologies. That's my favorite one for UFOs. Bigfoot conspiracy. I think the reason why Bigfoot to this day and most cryptids have always been kind of kept in the low, and I'm saying this as a religious person, is because it upsets the balance of religion. And here's why it would do that. People that don't know the Bible would say, God's created man in man's own image. But when you read Genesis, Genesis says God made the things that are seen and unseen, and visible and invisible. So that to me kind of covers everything in the universe. Because I'm a big believer. Yeah, I know we've had this discussion. I'm a believer. I believe God created the universe, everything in it. That's just me. That's where my head goes. But I think one of the big problems with Bigfoot is you've got a lot of people out there that would say, well, if God was made in, man was made in God's image, and what the hell is this thing? And if it's got half human DNA, then how do you explain that? So I think that the reason why they keep all that quiet is because they're afraid of upsetting some religion. And if you think about it, it makes sense. And I'll tell you why they originally did it. I'm a firm believer that Jefferson knew about Bigfoot, the hairy man, when he sent Lewis and Clark out west, because he told them point blank, you're going to run into these things. This is why we need you to befriend the Native Americans, because they know how to deal with them. But these things are going to be, I've got depictions in some of the original Lewis and Clarks right here before pre-1955 when they changed them, that showed depictions of the hairy man. They show Lewis and Clark basically talking to a Bigfoot with Native Americans. So they knew that was going to happen. And I think Jefferson, being the brilliant man he was, knew that we needed westward expansion for the country to grow. And the reason why we didn't have it is because the British were going to come down from, guess where? Canada. So we had to go ahead and territorize all that area. And I think they knew everything they were going to run into. So I think since Jeffersonian times, we've known all about Bigfoot, but there's always been that fear that if it was released, that would upset some of the religions. That's my theory on Bigfoot. And what was it? Paranormal? What was it? There was Bigfoot, UFO, and what?
Paranormal.
Paranormal. See, that's another paranormal, because it's such a huge topic. Like everything's paranormal if you don't understand it. Does that make sense? Para means
you're cheaping out here. You're cheaping out.
Yeah, it's you can't just say, okay, this and that is paranormal. If I don't understand something, it's basically paranormal, or if most people don't, But I think that when you start talking about the veil and things like that, and let's just say that part of paranormal, like we'll just talk about the veil. All right, I believe in it. I'm sorry, I've seen too much. I've seen things I can't explain. I've seen things that don't make sense in a scientific area, that the laws of physics don't seem to apply. And I think it's just another dimension almost that can pour in through ours. I think ghosts, in my opinion, are just points of energy that are frozen in time. An example would that be, I always correlate that to like a Christmas ghost. When I was a kid in my dad's mom's house, we used to see, or we used to think we'd see like this old lady by the stove cooking. And every one of the family saw it at one point. And it wasn't until many years later that we realized it was our great grandmother. And she had been cooking at the stove because that's basically where she spent all her time, making sure her family ate healthy. So we were never scared of it. But I had, different relatives would see this entity in various points of its age, if that makes sense. I saw her when she was a little old lady. My sister might have seen her when she was in her 30s. But every year at Christmas, we'd see something like that. And I think what that is just you get enough energy, that stamp in time just repeats itself. And I think that's definitely part of the paranormal. But that would be, for me, that's definitely a ghost. But I think the paranormal conspiracy or why it's kept shut is because you can't really answer it. You don't have experts in the field, because you might have government entities that know more than what we're going to know because they've had the ability to collect. You look at the Vatican, the catacombs for the Vatican. Can you imagine if we had access to that as normal human beings? The information we'd have on the paranormal, or devil worship, all that stuff, all that stuff, all of that would be open. But I think it's possibly due that one, they're afraid people are going to be scared, and two, it's a way to control the populace because knowledge is power. But I think that's two of the biggest reasons for that.
If I were to choose my biggest UFO conspiracy and it's funny because I had been saying this, not to pat my own back, but I had been saying this to our audience for years about the fact that I believe that there is a UFO Pandora's box somewhere in the Pentagon.
Yep.
And then a number of months ago, former Secretary or Assistant Secretary of Defense, Chris Mellon, who's been on the UFO kick for the last number of years, he came out saying there is a UFO Pandora's box at the Pentagon.
Well, you know what? I'll be the first one to admit that's probably 100% true. But I look at your former Canadian Prime Minister coming out at the UN saying UFOs are real. We've known about them forever. I mean, this is a guy, he's a former Prime Minister.
He was Minister of Defense.
I'm sorry, Minister. I apologize, Minister of Defense. But this guy, that's not a schmuck job. That is an important job. And this guy's coming out to the whole world saying UFOs are real. The U.S. knows about them. And when you realize when he did that, that's when they started releasing all the information about the UFOs from the military. Like they were showing the videos and things like that. He started all that. So that all started, because he was like a whistleblower. But here's the thing with that. Can you imagine if President Trump gets on the television tomorrow and says, okay, guys, we've kind of told you everything that's going on. So now we've been kind of holding back on this one, but here's what's going on. 31 Atlas is probably a spaceship. It just changes direction and speed again. And by the way, we don't know what it wants. Have a great day. How could you will have the world will just completely obliterate itself. It'll eat itself. Who's going to obey? If you think the alien invasion is coming, it's going to end in the world. How many people are going to obey the laws? Who's going to look at morality?
There's a giant conspiracy around that.
Yeah.
And I remember asking Lou Elizondo
Lou's a cool guy.
on a private phone call. I asked him point blank. I said, were you guys monitoring how people treated each other during the COVID pandemic? And he goes, yes, we were. Because they wanted to see how people would react and study a global pandemic to see how people were treating each other. And we didn't treat each other very well. Neighbors were ratting out neighbors. People getting 10 jugs of milk and saying, screw you to the single mother with 2 kids or the single father with 2 kids. We don't need to give those examples, but that's just a couple of what was going on. And he basically said, we failed. What are we going to do if all of a sudden we announce aliens are here?
Right.
You cannot, the human being is the worst thing that's ever happened to this planet. We're blights, number one. Number two, we can't get along with ourselves on our own planet. We've got beefs going on for 3,000 years in certain areas. All right. And number four is if you're a highly intelligent race and you're looking at us and you're thinking, hey, should we give these guys the keys to the kingdom? Give them all this technology, give them warp drive, give them spaceships, all this other. I say no.
And on that note, I'm going to get you to hold on right there. We're going to go to our final break of the night. Christian MacLeod, the Cryptid Guy, cryptidguy.com. Christina, cryptidgirl.com. We'll be right back.
This is Spaced Out Radio and your host, Dave Scott.
It's not all negative. Yeah, it's no one.
Be clear. Bad cop, I will clean it up for what I said. Okay. I said that I believe the flight was taken to Diego Garcia in the Pacific. I said nothing about MH370 flying over the Indian Ocean. I know it was in the Indian Ocean.
Well, we don't even know where it went though, because they cut
That's what I'm saying, but that's why I said I think it went over the Pacific to Diego Garcia.
I believe it.
It just makes sense. So I just want to clarify that, because it was like the plane was over in the Indian Ocean. I said, yes, I know.
But you know what, Dave? When you think about that,
Pacific.
There's no one on the planet. There's no country on the planet that would want those people dead. They would want them. They'd want their information, or at least their computers. So if the thing went in the drink, it's a waste.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm with you on this. I completely believe it. I was under the impression it was forced down on a massive aircraft carrier. I had heard that one too, but I you never know.
I don't see that one happening.
I don't know. I saw a C-31 Hercules land on an aircraft carrier.
That's an impressive video.
That is crazy.
That's an impressive video.
Did you saw that, right?
I've seen that video.
The whole boat rocks when that thing lands.
Right? Yeah, I don't really understand how they were able to even take off with it.
I want to be. Here's my thing. Can you imagine being the guy who says, "Hey, I got an idea. Let's
try this.
Let's try this. Let's see how bad this will work."
Yeah, but military pilots are crazy enough to think that's a good idea.
Well, but they're that good too. And the other thing is
they're very good.
They got the computers. They'll tell them, "Hey, you need, some of that stuff." I mean, did you see it land? Then did you see it take off?
I never saw the video of it taking off. I saw it of it landing.
When it takes off, it backs all the way up, like it's the back end of the plane is hanging out over the water,
the edge.
And then it just lights them up, and you hear the engines, and all was it six engines?
I think
all 6 engines are like revving up, and then he just gooses it, and that thing just goes whew, and when it takes off, it drops. And then boom, it's like warp drive. It's crazy. It's like, how do we have this technology? Or have you seen that new space plane that has a vertical launch?
Oh, that's so cool.
Yes.
That was awesome. Where's that? Why don't I have that in my driveway? We're waiting for that. Let's turn the Subaru into that. Here's the keys.
Right.
I'll see you in 20 minutes, Dave.
You don't get to fly it, I do.
You break it. And you blame me.
Oh,
I know you. You'll do that. I'm going to see Dave first.
Yeah, you got to come see me. Then we're going to Taco Bell.
I'm the one that usually drives anyway.
Damn, not this time.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to warp drive. We're going to get Dave first.
Oh, come on.
Then we'll go to Vegas.
I F1 it.
Yeah, you can have one on the way home. That's fair. I'll be drunk.
We'll be drinking beers outside at my fire pit.
Right. And then we'll go right to then it's Vegas.
Hey, got to drive to Vancouver 6 hours first. Though.
Hey, man, if we got warp drive, we can get there in a couple minutes, man.
True.
You can even forget your wallet. We'll go back and get it.
We'll park it where they park the Janet jets. Kind of swill are you on tonight?
Guinness.
Oh my God. Why not just drink tar? It's pretty much the same thing.
Let me tell you something. There's nothing but vitamins and minerals in this bad boy. That's all you need.
What are you drinking?
It's full of vitamin G.
Water.
Oh,
that'll kill you.
I'm chunky. I don't need anything else.
You know what fish do in water?
Oh.
Oh, you sick bastard. Hold on. Thank you tonight to Jeremy Jones, Alaska's greatest athlete, Sally Elka, Creepypasta, and Kitty Caddywhack, and Christian for joining our membership on YouTube. Hey, let's try and get to 100 likes. If you haven't given us a thumbs up yet, please do. We'd appreciate it. And don't forget to shop at our Spaced Out Radio store. We do not have ugly swag, people. No ugly swag. Here we go.
Dave needs a Taco Bell stop first.
Taco Bell.
Here we go with the final half hour of Spaced Out Radio tonight. My name is Dave Scott. Christian MacLeod is going the distance, filling in for an ailing Robin Haynes. Conspiracies, that's what we're talking about right now. But before we bring him back in, let us remind all of you that if you've missed portions of this show or others, our archives are always free. We like them free. You deserve free. YouTube or any major podcast network. Our website, spacedoutradio.com. We have a plethora of features for you. Rock out to Bumblefoot, read the news wire, check out our swag as well. You can follow us on X at Spaced Out Radio, Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show, and on Patreon in the Space Travelers Club. Here we go. Christian MacLeod, he is our guest at the bottom of the hour. He's been our guest the whole show. And if you hear a nice little giggle and chortle, that is his research partner, his life partner, his best friend in the world, Christina, the Cryptid Girl. Good to have you guys here.
I'm a lucky man, Dave. I'm a lucky man.
Oh, I'm the lucky one, you know.
Oh, yes. I know how lucky I am, too. I know how lucky I am.
Dave's getting that tattooed on his butt.
I'm going to, okay, so I've given you my UFO conspiracy. My cryptid conspiracy is that Bigfoot is not flesh and blood. I do not believe it is. Well, it probably is, but I'm being a bad guy here. You seem dumbfounded by this.
As intelligent as you are, most people wouldn't know how brilliant you are by listening to you on your radio show. But when you get Dave, and you have a conversation, Dave, he's usually the smartest guy in the room. He's very polite about it. And this is the one thing we differ on. Is it possible that Bigfoot can do things mentally? Maybe. The mind speak thing, I have never been a fan of that. That's Robin's issue. Are they transdimensional? Is that why they could just vanish and disappear? I don't think so. I think they're just so intelligent and so adept to their environment. They can literally just vanish in front of you by climbing a tree or hiding or just being camouflaged. I honestly think that's what they do. And I know people say, well, the tracks just vanish and disappear. And I know you've had issues where they just vanish and disappear. I don't think that's what's happening. I think they actually have something. I think they're like polar bears. I think the hair on their body is capable of just kind of blending in with their surrounds. I think it might absorb light or something of that nature. But I just don't think, that there's anything woo-woo about them. Let me say this, because I will say this. I'm 95% sure I'm right. I'll give that 5% chance that they do have the woo-woo, but I'm pretty much I'm 95% sure they are corporeal flesh and blood. They're just highly intelligent, and they are just perfectly camouflaged for their environment, and they are incredibly fast.
Yeah, I think their hair just has something that it makes it not reflect light in the same way. Plus, have you ever seen pictures of snow leopards where I know there's a snow leopard in the picture, but it takes me 30 minutes to find it because they camouflage so well.
And you know what? I can tell you a story where my buddy Mark and I were driving along a forest road, and he goes, "There's a moose." I stopped the vehicle. I said, "Where?" He goes, "Right there." And I'm looking in the trees about 30 feet away from me. I cannot see this moose. And until I saw a branch move, that's when all of a sudden my eyes focused in, and I could see the hind legs and the butt and the back torso of this moose. And otherwise, I did not see it. I could not see it at all. And and you know, we joke around here because I live in a hunting community. We joke around here, how many deer or moose or grouse or rabbits have you driven by that you didn't even see?
Well, it's the same. We did this thing about 8 years ago. We had Tiny. I've told you about Tiny. Tiny's about 7 foot. He's down to about 450 now, but he was around 500 pounds.
He's a big guy.
Big guy, but he's just solid. He's just a big guy. And we put him in a little jungle kind of outfit, a ghillie suit, and we put him 7 feet off the path. 7 feet off the path by a trail, and there was a set of trees, and they were all pine trees, and there were some good sized pine trees. We had 75 people walk by him within 5 feet of him, and never saw him.
Not one of them.
Not one of them.
Yeah. Nature has a way of camouflaging itself.
Exactly.
And I
So
agree
you
with what
never
Christina
know.
said about how the hair of these animals seems to reflect or refract light.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you're right on that. And they have, you know, I mean, you look at even a tiger with orange stripes.
Exactly.
Yep.
Orange should stick out in the middle of a forest,
Mm-hmm.
and it doesn't.
Yep.
It blends right in with the other colors perfectly.
So it's like that digital camouflage the military has too. You'd think when you see it, you're thinking to yourself that you're going to see this. It's digital. It's like, you know, those little squares, and they stand in front of something. It's like they vanish.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it's and like nothing, you know, is ever going to top camouflage like nature. Nature, you know, that's nature. It's the way it's going to be. But either way, I think the whole concept is brilliant because if say they are having, you know, issues and they can do stuff like that, I either way, it's still fascinating.
Parent Marv is griping on me here.
Parent Marv.
He says, if Bigfoot isn't flesh and blood, then how is it throwing rocks, bending trees, stealing deer, hunters, etc.? I'm not saying it doesn't feed. Okay. I don't know if it's flesh and blood. And my determination of the flesh and blood would be like a deer or a moose or a bear, that type of flesh and blood. I think there's something more special about this creature that has the ability to do things we do not understand. So could it have flesh and blood going through its veins? Does it need to feed? Does it need to poop? Does it need to, you know, play a game of canasta at the old folks' home? Possibly. Possibly. I'm just saying we can't rule it out because we don't know.
That'd be a big canasta board.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Big card.
You never ever want to get into a game of canasta with a bunch of silver hairs at the old folks' home.
Nope.
You don't. You will get torn apart.
Oh yeah.
They'll kill you.
There's sharks.
They don't care. Yep. They get nothing. They're just
people like my grandmother. God bless her. I still have a grandma left.
That's awesome.
Me too. Okay.
Her fists from being an old farm girl, she could still crank me in the shoulder and it'll hurt. Oh yeah. I never pissed off my grandmother because of that.
Dressed up as a wolf man for Halloween. 95.
Grandma's something to talk. We'll talk about grandma later.
By the way, have you we'll change the topic here for a second. Have you heard any increase in werewolf sightings?
Wow. How, you know, it's funny you say that. Asheville, you know, I do haunted Asheville tours. For some reason, the werewolf and Dogman sightings in Asheville has gone ridiculously high. I've never seen it like this. In fact, if you go on YouTube and just type in Asheville, and then, you know, Dogman or werewolf, all these stories just boom, 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 boom. And it's crazy. We haven't, just for the audience, we haven't discussed this. Dave just brought this up. And this is a topic Christine and I were talking. Yeah. In fact, I was talking about this last night on my tour.
The number of reports online lately have just gone crazy.
It's crazy. and it's all in this area, and it's very, very strange because we physically haven't seen anything, of course, but the amount of reports, the amount of people saying these things. I know for a fact there was a couple that actually tried reporting it to the police, and they just hung up on them. Like, we're not listening to this. They thought it was a prank call.
I was talking to a friend of mine yesterday, a paranormal friend of mine who lives about 45 minutes north of me. In her area where she goes looking for paranormal, she runs into these people who have a campfire going out. And, you know, she says, "Hey, anything odd happening tonight?" "Yeah, we were just listening to the werewolf howl." There's been 2 werewolf sightings in that same area within the last couple of months.
It does not surprise me. Honestly, it doesn't surprise me. I think, a Dogman cynocephali, I think that's an entity or a creature that's been with us since the inception of time. It's in the historic narrative. What's funny too, Dave, is every civilization on the planet, it doesn't matter where it is, every civilization on the planet has a werewolf folklore mythos and a vampire folklore mythos. How is that possible when you can have an Inuit Indian or native and then a group of people in the Pacific living on an island that's completely isolated, but yet they have a vampire and werewolf folklore?
Yeah, ancient civilization.
Ancient, yeah. I mean, you're talking thousands of years. I mean, look at all the folklore culture on just Vlad the Impaler, and realistically, was he a bad guy? Who's to say? But we don't really know a whole lot about these things because people don't take them seriously. And then when you look at the Middle Ages, the way they are, I mean, I'm sure you've seen it, but they, in the 1850s, 1860s, they used to sell vampire killing kits. Mm-hmm. And if you were going, towards, like say, Middle Europe, you usually bought one just in case because you were worried about the vampires.
Garlic, steak, mallet, the whole thing.
So it's just one of those things. I've always been fascinated by that. Werewolves are one of the things. I shouldn't say this because I'm not going to get grief from it, but werewolves are always one of the things that they've fascinated but scare the hell out of me. Because I'm from Maine originally, and when I was a kid, I made the mistake of watching Silver Bullet, and then I'd have to walk home after football practice, like in the fall, and of course, this time of year in Maine, it's dark, right around 5. So you'd start hearing things. And of course, where I lived, there was no street lights, so that was even better. So that was always kind of like a fear of mine. It's like a werewolf coming out of the woods. I don't know why I just admitted that.
Why do you think all of a sudden there's an increase in people having these sightings? And they're not describing a dogman. They are describing a werewolf with torn clothes on. Right now, I think we're in a full moon.
It would not.
We get more Dogman stuff during the full moons. I notice a lot more Dogman activity around here during the full moons, and I don't know why. I mean, they're in the area all the time, but we hear more of their activity and stuff during the full moons and notice it more. But a lot of the reports that we've read online, especially the Asheville ones, are a little crazy. I mean, we've read reports of places that we were there and we didn't see any werewolf.
Yeah. But I think to answer that question, I think the religious part of me wants to say because the world's becoming more evil and maybe we're close to the end of days. And even in the Bible, it talks about like the beasts that hide underground are going to take 10% of the population. And who's to say these things aren't? I think there's just, if you want to look at it like a human being transmogrifying into an animal, I would say that was probably because there's just more evil in the world now, and it's just becoming so blatant that no one cares. And I think that's the problem with evil. If you just keep ignoring it, it's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger, more powerful. And that's why we have the problems we have, because finally we're out of that phase. I think when people look back at this, 10 years ago in history, when we had that politically correct era, they're going to see how horrible that really was and how much damage that actually did to society. because we didn't pay attention to things we should have been. And I think this is an offset of that. I think that the evil can manifest more now, and it's probably growing maybe, and and there's a lot of satanic worship out there. That's a real thing. People think that's a joke. That is a real thing. So I think maybe it's a combination of that. Truth is, I don't know, but I would not want to run into one. I will say that. And people, I'll go out and look for Dogman, Bigfoot. Those things don't bug me. But when you're dealing with a demonic entity, I got to draw a line.
Yeah, that's not fun.
Because that's something different. I mean, if I don't know, if you were prepared and you knew its weaknesses and things like that, that'd be one thing. But the truth of the matter is, we don't know if any of the folklore about silver or holy war or anything like that's true. Right. And you can't deal with something if you don't know how to, take care of it. And it's just one of those things that
we do have silver bullets, though. I mean, you can never. We do, but can we clarify? Are we using Dogman, werewolf interchangeably? No, werewolf and Dogman are two different things. Paramorph. Totally different.
A werewolf is some human being that transmogrifies into an animal. Dogman, cynocephaly, is born Dogman, cynocephaly.
I'm not sure I believe in the whole werewolf thing. I don't know if I believe that you could actually transform. I definitely know that Dogman exists, but I'm still a little skeptical about werewolf.
Well, I mean, here's the thing, though. But if people are seeing,
clothes on them,
clothes that are ripped, that looks like something out of a movie.
Definitely.
That's and then they're not. I mean, if people are being honest when they say this stuff, there's no other way to explain it.
That's true.
You're not going to put what you're going to put a flannel shirt on
the Dogman's not
a Dogman. It's not. That's not what he's going to do.
Stupid.
So I mean, it's one of these things. The older I get, the more I believe, if that makes sense, because it's like, again, if you said 20 years ago, do you believe in? I would have said absolutely not. And these days, it's like the older I get, the more I think it's possible. And I like this. I'm skeptical but fascinated. Yeah. Philip, that's exactly. That's the way I look at it. Is it possible? Yeah, but then again, I don't say anything's out of realm possibility anymore. That's why, one of the reasons why I did is actually because I met you, Dave. Because prior to meeting Dave and talking to Dave, if you would have asked me if I thought there was any chance at all of a Bigfoot being in the woo-woo, I would say hell no, absolutely not. But after talking to Dave and Dave sharing some of his experiences with me, and I know him to be an honest man. And I believe him. And like I said, I stand by what I say and I see what I mean. Dave is a brilliant guy. So if Dave's telling me something that's happened to him in one of his investigations, you can bank on it. And he's one of the people that made me think, well, maybe it's possible. And then you hear some of these crazy stories, like we have friends of ours in common that come up with this crazy stuff. I'm not going to rag on them, but it's just hard to choke all that down. But it's totally possible. Anything is possible.
Makes you feel like that, eh?
Yeah, makes you feel like that. Yes. I'll wear the hat next month.
That's a good play. It's a good picture. Right? It's a very good picture.
3 minutes to go.
Yeah.
My paranormal.
I saw a comment there. I really thought that was a good comment. It's possible that the full moon does make it just more visible and people are more likely to see it and stuff then. What I'm talking about is more things that I've heard and felt, but it's definitely possible that sightings go up during the full moon because it's more light and more visibility. That's a good comment.
Well, final comment. My conspiracy for the paranormal is this. Dun dun dun. Dun, dun, dun. That there are no such thing as ghosts. That we're dealing with people on different timelines.
I mean, that would explain sightings.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, because realistically, most people don't realize this. A ghost has never hurt or communicated with anyone. When you see a ghost, it's just doing a certain thing, a certain particular thing that it's probably been doing, and it's just locked in that space of time because that's where that particular energy is doing. So I would not throw that out of the realm possibility. That's actually pretty good. I might steal that, Dave.
Yeah. And it's all because of what happened to us up here, where we had on the old Gold Rush Trail. It was about 9 o'clock at night, and we had come in contact with a Chinese couple on the trail. And we were chatting with them. We figured out that they had 2 horses and a carriage. And we were standing in the middle of the road. And before we knew they had the horse and the carriage, we said goodbye. But all of our machinery was still going off, like they were waiting for us to move, like we were in the middle of the trail. And as we parted from the trail, you could see there were 9 of us with 9 K2 meters. You could see the K2 meters going from bright red back down to green as the trailer and the horses and the people moved by. So
Yeah, I mean,
were we the ghosts to them, or were they the ghosts to us? Or did we intercept a different timeline that night?
I mean,
That's a cool way to think of it.
Yeah, no, that's
Really
actually pretty
is.
sweet. Yeah,
Christian, we got about a minute to go here. Do me a favor.
yes.
Tell everybody where they can find you, your work, your websites.
We are very easy to find. You can get us at cryptidguy.com or American Cryptid and Paranormal Society.com. Christina has actually cryptogirl.com is a real website. It just links right to ours. And then, of course, you can call us at 1-800-329-4851 if you have any reports you want to talk to us about. And, you can get us on Facebook, American Cryptid and Paranormal. I would really love it if people would start following us on X. We had to start over on X. Somehow our account got completely deleted. So at one point we had about 1,000, 1,200 followers, and now we've only got like 60. So we had to start over. So if you could follow us on X, it's at Cryptid, and of course on Instagram at Cryptid. Appreciate it.
Christian MacLeod going the distance tonight as we say hello to Mr. Ron Bumblefoot Thal, rocking in the background with Little Brother is Watching. Bumblefoot is the official music of Spaced Out Radio, rocking us in and out of every single show. Get your horns up for the guitar god himself. Special thanks to everybody listening in at work, at home, in your cars, wherever you may be. Thank you to everyone in our chat rooms tonight. YouTube, Twitch, LGAB, Facebook, Spreaker, LinkedIn, Space Travelers Club, and on X. Remember, this show is copyright by Spaced Out Radio and Bigfoot Broadcasting Limited. Thank you so much for choosing to share your evening with us, because together, my friends,
we're watching.
We own the night. Mr. Bumblefoot, we need a favor. We need you to take us home. Yes, the Woo train has docked for the night, but soon, my friends, we shall ride again. Your seats are always available. Your tickets never expire. And if you want to bring a friend, we've got room for them too. Good night, everybody. You know, I was thinking of something during the show. Hold on. There we go. You know, I was thinking of something during the show.
Go on.
You know, like we're trying to like meld everything together.
Yeah.
What if we changed your name from American Cryptid and Hauntings to North American?
Will be the North American Cryptid and Paranormal Society.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can do that.
Because then I get a lot of questions, dude. Where to push reports to?
Yeah.
We could push reports that way, and then we could do like video shorts of stuff from your channel.
Yeah, we could do that. I could Yeah, that would take. I just have to change the name on the LLC, and that'd be it.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. We could do
Just
that.
an idea. It's something to talk about.
Yes, I'll check into that
Let's
tomorrow.
poll the audience. Would you like to see that happen?
NACAPs.
Yeah, North American Cryptid Paranormal. Yeah, that's cool.
Right up there.
I really like that. Yeah, that sounds pretty sweet, actually. Yeah, because see, what everything's under the umbrella of American Cryptid Paranormal Society, but North American Cryptid Paranormal Society, because it's still Cryptid Guy. I mean, I'm totally fine with doing that. Just have to change a few logos. I mean, it's not a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
NACAP.
Well, the way I look at it is we could basically start our own reporting. You've already got the base of it, but we could have this show as the flagship, your site as our flagship reporting center. It's a win-win.
Yeah, Dave, I'll check into it tomorrow, man.
Yeah.
I don't think it'd be much. I think I just have to do some paperwork and just put North in there, because I can have
Finish your business cards.
yeah. I mean, that doesn't. Because Cryptid Guy's on everything anyway. I just have to change the logo. Yeah, I'm not opposed to that. Yeah, that's amazing. It would make it possible to include report. That's true.
That's true.
I never thought. I'll be honest with you. For those listening, guys, I never thought we'd actually. When I came up with American Cryptid, originally it was Asheville Cryptid Society.
Yeah.
And then no one knew what a cryptid was, and then we started getting reports all over.
Started getting Tennessee.
I mean, everywhere. So then
by.
we went to American Cryptid and Paranormal. That's when we changed to ACAPs, because no one knew what a cryptid was. So North America, to me, that's just a natural progression. I mean, I have no problem with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Logo up
And it's only because, like, with me living in Canada, I'm in North America.
Yeah, I mean, it's North America. Yeah, no, it makes total sense, dude.
Yeah, I think it would work well.
I'll take care of it tomorrow. I'll check into it. I'll call my accountant, see what we need to do on the license aspect, and then we'll do that. Yeah. Should good, because I go to a bank anyway and change some stuff. It was awesome. It was a good show. Yeah, for Felipe Ferrero 3517. I'm very familiar with the Lobo Hombre, some of the paranormal stuff out there. The United Territories of North America. That's cool.
Felipe, how are you, buddy?
Interplanetary cryptid. Let's start the Mars colony.
There we go.
There we go.
Ways we can expand in the future.
No, I think marrying the products together is a good decision.
How do you do? Like I said, man, I'll check into that tomorrow. I'll call Chris and have him come up with a different logo, and we'll just switch it over on the. It would literally, honestly, it'd take 15 minutes. Does not take long.
Let's see what Chat GPT would make us for a logo. Can you create a logo for the North America?
I want to be in there too. Need a girl in the logo too.
You're not going to be in the logo.
Come on,
I'm not changing that. No, you're not. You're not a paranormal being or a cryptid. You're Christina.
You're in the logo.
Where am I in the logo? I'm Cryptid Guy.
You're Cryptid Guy.
Cryptid Guy. Don't you forget it.
Guy.
Cryptid Guy.
Le Guy. Vous êtes le Guy.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna eat an ice cream sandwich when I get out of here.
Good.
Ooh, yummy.
I'm gonna go watch it and have another beer.
You mean Welcome to Dairy?
Yes.
Welcome to Dairy.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on one second. The logos are building right now.
Nice. Daddies is
Do
the
it,
one.
Jack.
I was paying for this site called pngtree.com to get a bunch of logos for our t-shirts. Then they tried to hammer me on copyright infringement, even though I had paid for a membership.
Oh, that doesn't surprise me.
So I took off all of our logos that I had taken from them, okay, that I thought I had paid for.
Mhm.
And then I sent them I did some research on them, that they've been doing this to a lot of their paid clients. So I sent them a letter and I said, I've erased everything. I said, let me tell you how it's going to work now. Instead of paying you for your logos, I am now going to go create my own through AI for free. So you got greedy, you got caught, and please eliminate my profile effective immediately.
Yep. You done screwed yourself.
Mhm.
Mm.
Yep. Mm-hmm. All right. 1 second here. And
Tiramisu cup. That sounds good.
Mm. It does.
Mm.
I heard that other noise you made too, by the way.
Stomach.
The other thing was inside your stomach.
That was just my stomach.
That other noise was something else.
No, that was my
I
stomach.
stepped on a duck.
Oh, that was you.
Uh-uh.
no getting pervy over there. We're still live.
That's right.
Come on, people. Keep it normal.
It's normal.
Christina, you are so much trouble.
I can't help it.
Werewolf stomach.
Yep.
All right. Let's see. How
That's funny.
Boy, I got werewolf stomach.
Werewolf other things.
Christine's hat matches.
It
Dick's
does.
leg. It does?
Well, it's a little purple, mine's dark blue, but yeah,
Yeah.
it kind of matches.
Yeah. I think so. Matches the Cryptid Guy logo. Or the...
Definitely.
No, Christina, we're not doing that. It's not going to be the new logo.
Oh, come on.
No. We're not.
Nothing but trouble. I tried to forewarn you.
You look like a crazy person doing that. Christina Ghost.
Hold on. This is just in a couple of minutes. I'll just real rough copy here. Hold on. No, we're not inviting anybody. Come on, Dave.
I like that.
Thank you.
That's cool.
Oh, that's not bad.
Not bad.
I like the colors.
I do like the colors, but we do need a werewolf in there.
Yeah, Dogman in there would be cool.
I can do that.
I do like that logo.
The northern, looks like the Northern Lights.
Yeah, I like
Colors.
that.
Pretty.
Hey, send that to me, Dave, would you?
Hold on.
Yeah,
See what we can do here.
you gotta squint to see it.
I'll just wait. I will let it load first, man.
I know, dude. I was just saying.
Holy cow. You're blurry.
I have a few here.
Blurry.
Could be me. Like a Cub Scout badge.
Sasquatch. That's cute.
Philip, that's what we're going for, brother. That's what we're going for.
Be prepared.
Cub Scout badge. Woof. Bigfoot.
Woof. They couldn't hear.
Yeah, they can.
It's like, oh, Meg.
It's all connected.
Christina, have you had too much Monster Energy drink tonight?
No, it was Coors Light.
Too much Coors Light.
How do you get drunk off of Coors Light?
Oh, I'm not. Just my stomach was making noise and he won't let it go.
That looks better.
Are you saying you're ripping ass right now?
No, I totally am not. God, he's making it sound like, stop that. I'm not.
Stepped on a duck.
I did not.
What do you think of that one?
That one's awesome.
I love it.
Oh, let's expand it a little bit.
That's awesome.
Yeah, you just got to fix the letters because sometimes when you redo photos, it changes the spelling.
The picture's great.
It's 1T. There you go.
Make believe.
Have you gone insane? Have you gone insane?
If it's North American, you need 1 star and 1 maple leaf.
Oh God!
There's no stars on my flag unless you want to become the 11th province.
That better look cool. As long as it's not red.
As long as it's not blue like Toronto. Maple
Yeah,
leaf.
no, we're not doing that.
No. I will erase this entire logo. If it
Delete it and then burn the television.
burn this entire thread right now.
Trademark that logo so you owe me $84,000.
Yeah, hey, Perry Marvin, keep it, baby.
That's funny.
Serious, I'll sign it for you.
I just don't like that yellowish white.
Yeah, I'm not even. I don't like the background in the back. I like the color.
We'll clear that. I'll make it transparent. I'm just trying to perfect
That'd
the
be a
logo
cool
here
sticker,
for a
man.
second.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
colors. That's gonna be cool. That look good. That's a good logo for t-shirt stuff.
Why did it move?
They put the leaf right in the,
Yeah.
and then we lost. The stuff.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Get rid of the leaf and the ugly white dot. Change
Isn't that the moon?
No, that's supposed to be the moon.
of the letters. Color do you like?
For the background.
No, for the letters, the letter coloring.
Oh, I use red and black, dude. I don't care. I'm good.
Well, it's on a black background, so
I know. So red.
red? Really? With the
What do you think?
I would do blue or green or purple, one of the ones from the inside. Or just white.
I don't know, Dave. Whatever you think, man.
White's boring.
I paid a person to come up with my last logo. I don't.
See what that does. The beauty of Chat GPT.
Put the leaf in the crotch of the dog man.
All right, that's funny, Joe.
That's hilarious.
What did Joe say?
But
It says put the leaf in the crotch of the
dog
dog man.
oh, hey, wait a minute. Parent Marv wants to know, man, Marv, that's a good question. Marv got us with that. We eat something from Mexico. What's the flag? Isn't it
I'll put a
red?
picture of Jaime Maussan on there.
Green, white, and orange. Isn't it green, white, and orange?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Cactus. Ooh, cactus is a good idea. Felipe, you know what? I do too, man. I do too. We'll put Mexico in there. You think a cactus?
Yeah, see how it spells all of a sudden? Like,
Yeah.
what the hell is paranon-normat?
I don't know.
Paranormat.
Yeah, I'll fuck with it later.
Yeah, we'll deal with it later. But hey, let's put a cactus in there too for Mexico. Dave likes tacos.
Though.
I like tacos too.
Yeah, we had tacos today.
Did we?
We
Oh
did.
yeah, no, we did. Yeah.
Lose the moon and spell para.
Trans Spanish. I don't know what that means.
What I do most of my days.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of people would. Oh, a chupacabra would be cool.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know.
That's kind of sweet.
I know, but 3 cryptids in there would be kind of crowded.
Okay, listen, we haven't seen it yet.
Okay.
I'm just editing the show right now while you guys wait.
Sombrero.
The sombrero.
Cutting out all the Christina parts.
Let's put a sombrero on the Dogman. Lupus hombre.
That's cultural appropriation.
I know.
Well, so's a taco. I mean, you know.
It's not funny. I'm not going to insult an entire nation. I know, but it just sounds funny me saying that to him.
Yes. Usually goes the other way.
Correct you. Can't wait to get that. Society. Why is it spelling stuff wrong?
Just
Society.
Society.
like I said, I'm just fucking around right now.
All right. I'm going to watch.
Looking good.
Yeah, I need another beer. I will call you tomorrow. So I want to talk about some stuff. I'll check in on this. If you
I'll call you. I gotta go to work for a little bit in the morning.
Okay.
I'll be free in the afternoon. I'll call you when I'm free.
No, call me when you're free. We'll talk about. I'm going to call my. This shouldn't like to do that wouldn't be much, so we'll just go ahead and do it. But I do like the logo, so if you get that done, just send it to me, and we'll go with that.
Yeah, we could create it tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll throw. I think putting a cactus in there. That you think that'd be, would that represent Mexico enough? Or I don't want to, like I said, I don't want to be racist or anything. So I don't want to throw in something like, something like a hat. That's just not cool.
We'll look at some more Mexico sites and see if we can find something that they use to represent themselves.
I like the chupacabra idea, though. That's a real good one.
Chupacabra would be good because then you have
Bigfoot. Chupacabra. We'll put a chupacabra, like we'll just make them triangular, like Bigfoot,
Dogman on one side and chupacabra on the other.
You're right, and then Bigfoot, Dogman, and then chupacabra down here. And like I like the background already, so let's just put a chupacabra in there.
Yeah, I love that Northern Lights background. It looks so pretty.
That's all that is Northern Lights.
Okay, so the emperor penguin or the pricky pear cactus, it's in the flag.
Oh, okay.
All right, well, we'll do it both ways and see what looks. You know what we'll do? Dave, we should have people vote on it. Maybe next show we'll vote for what logo they like the best.
Maybe. There's always ways to do things.
Yeah.
Oh, and anybody that's listening, go to our website. Vote for me for the Fabulous Over 40.
Wow, that just was so natural.
Wow, cheap plug right there, lady.
Just
holy cow.
What?
we could have talked about that earlier.
I didn't think of it.
She didn't think of it.
I didn't know you were over 40.
Oh yeah.
Way over.
40.
Your skin is so much more nicer than the eraser head over there.
The makeup, you wouldn't believe.
Oh, come on.
Put it on with a sheetrock spatula.
He's joking. I don't have a lot of makeup on.
Uh-huh. Do you use one of them spacklers?
Definitely not. No airbrush, no.
Oh God.
The roller.
Who's on tomorrow night? Steve Pierce. You know what tomorrow night is? You
Tuesday.
guys might want to tune in.
Huh?
Tomorrow night is the 50th anniversary of the Travis Walton abduction.
That's been 50 years since Fire in the Sky.
Yeah.
Wow.
50 years tomorrow.
So Julie Rios says, "Don't worry, Christian. As someone whose parents are originally from Mexico, I find the sombrero idea hilarious."
Cool. I like the sombrero.
We'll see what it looks like on the logo, guys. I don't want a hit squad coming after me.
I'll create something tomorrow.
I got no
Like I
problem.
said, I'm not planning on being at work long tomorrow. So I got to work on my other project too. I'm working on it. So, all right, guys, I will let you guys
pyramid
go.
in the back.
That's an idea.
That's an idea. Like a Mayan pyramid
Like
in
a
the
step
background.
pyramid or something.
Yeah.
Mayan period. The problem with the Mayan pyramid, pardon me, is it's used for everything Mexico.
Is it now? Yeah.
Like any type of logo of what we do, they use a Mayan pyramid. Not saying that it's the wrong thing to do, but I like the chupacabra idea.
I do like that because it's
Chupacabra is
cryptic.
very
Yeah.
cool.
I say we'll go with chupacabra.
Yeah.
Maybe a chupacabra leaning on a cactus.
What's your love with the? Why don't we just put a bottle of fucking tequila on there? Because we all.
Well, listen, that's where I was going with this. I was going to say, let's just. Chupacabra is great and it represents the local cryptid. Thank you, Philip.
There you go.
Philip, listen, he's the one that's letting. Yeah, there you go, buddy.
Please design me a t-shirt logo of a chupacabra.
Don't say tequila.
Holding.
There it is.
Standing up, holding a bottle of tequila.
Just for the record, we have nothing to do with that. Nothing.
Oh, if this leaning on a cactus. If this works, I'm going to put this on my store.
Fire bottoms.
That will look badass. See how that turns out. Hold on. Let me share the screen here.
Again, it's blurry.
Come on. Come on. You can do it. You can do it.
You can do it.
No. No. Gotta get those t-shirts.
Make me a t-shirt logo so it shows me a fucking t-shirt.
He said, "I like Paramount. To hell with the t-shirt. Make tequila and put that in a bottle." Marv, call me, brother. You and I, we can do.
Look at that logo.
That is cool.
Awesome.
That is freaking cool.
That's
Oh
awesome.
my gosh. Okay.
That has got it. All right. You
Now
know
I
what?
want one.
What
Now I want one.
logo
That
without
is
a
awesome.
t-shirt?
Now I want one.
That is the shit.
That is an amazing logo.
That is awesome. He's got the attitude like, "Hey, what do you want from me?"
Yeah.
He's like, "What do you want from me?"
Go away. I got my
I'm
tequila.
doing this here. I want to be left alone. Leave me alone.
You got to admit, that was a little badass right there.
That looks awesome. We need
Awesome.
Hey, Julie, we're putting that. We're gonna have that in the logo.
I would wear that.
Duh, you will be. The t-shirts get made. Call my people.
Calls your peoples.
Agave plant. No. We have the agave plant. It's just in a tequila form. I'm voting for the chupacabra. Phil, we're doing a chupacabra. We're putting that chupacabra. That is
It's
just
gotta
too
be
cool.
there. It's
That
gotta
is
be
too
there.
sweet.
I love tequila. When I do drink, which is very rare, I love tequila.
Me too. He hates it. He does not like tequila.
Yeah, but
Bad
you're
experience.
talking about a guy who still orders a Shirley Temple. And he looks like Shirley Temple too.
Paramarv is a genius. Look at so now you've got a T-shirt for your new line of tequila. Paramarv, you're going places, baby. I'm hanging out with him. That is
Right.
what I want on the logo.
That is it.
We're gonna have him next to the Dogman and the Bigfoot, and it's gonna say I almost said North Carolina, North America Cryptid Paranormal Society.
Chupacabra tequila. It's got the bite.
It's got the bite. There you go.
There you go. It's got the bite.
There we go. Now we got everything.
The legendary bite.
It's perfect.
Almost there. Almost there. I'm gonna put this up in the store tonight.
Philip, he's like, I'd buy one of those.
I would too. I would wear it. Totally wear that.
Kind of want one,
Get the store ready right now.
I kind of want one now, Dave.
I'm not gonna lie. I might order one
I
myself.
think that would be kind of cool. Dave's a pina colada man.
I like a good pina colada.
I do too.
I do too. We all
I
like
hate
pina
the
colada.
song.
Everyone likes pina coladas.
How can you not like a pina
Well,
colada?
you just don't drink it in front of people. You
You
know,
still see the chat
like
room?
a moped or hanging out with a fat
You
chick.
think it's not
You just
man?
don't.
Oh,
Yeah, for the-
here comes the political talk.
No,
Canada is totally cooked. That country is down the drain. The West is good. It's the East from Ontario East that is screwed up right now. But we don't talk politics here,
no, I don't even want to know what's going on in New York.
unless it's Mark Carney or Justin Trudeau. Then we could talk about
Oh, you
them.
mean
After
what Katy
we try and
Perry?
talk nice about them, then I will probably ban you from the chat room.
Katy Perry.
All right, here we go. There we go. Look, come on, you're looking perfect. Don't change.
That's gonna be sweet.
Don't change. Yes.
That is awesome.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh yeah, that's going up on the store right now.
Listen, you need to seriously put that. We got to figure out how to put that in the logo.
Hold on. Where did my logo go? Okay, up there. Hold on. We're putting this on a T-shirt right now. I'll share this screen right now.
There you go.
So let's go to catalog, create a T-shirt. What's a nice shirt here? I think I went with,
Get a nice beefy tee, man. Put on something nice.
well, we'll do a T-shirt first.
Yeah.
All right, start designing. And then what we'll do is, Christina, I'll let you pick the colors.
Oh, cool.
Let me get the logo in here first. Hold on.
All right.
Let me get the logo in here first.
Graphite heather's nice.
Oh, yeah,
That's
that's
what I
nice.
usually get. Hey, buddy.
I had to let our little monster out.
See, there you are, buddy. There you are.
Beautiful.
That's Nandor. He's relentless.
Okay, watch the T-shirt color. You want sports gray?
I like that.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Heather military. That looks good.
That's cool too.
Graphite.
That's gonna look good on anything, man. That kind of logo is gonna look good on anything.
Heather indigo. Dark leather. Heather navy.
Charcoal look good.
Charcoal.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
What's it look like in black?
Oh, that's cool.
It does pop.
Oh, it's
Mm-hmm.
Heather red.
Yeah. Take it to a different level.
Dark chocolate.
That's racist.
Hold on. Let's get into the blues here.
Forest green, man. Let's see what it looks like with green on green.
Oh, I like that.
That's pretty sweet right there.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Metro blue.
Yeah.
Heather royal.
It's not
I
bad.
love that. It's a little more feminine.
Stop it.
All right. There we go.
Do you have Puth?
Ah, shit. I forgot to do something here.
They have azaleas.
Cute.
Hold on. Back.
What do you want? What do
Cute.
you want? You want
I like
tuxedo?
cute.
So we will put the inner collar here. Go like this. This is what I love about this right now. This is a new thing that they added. Let's put I can add my logo.
That is awesome.
Like right there.
There you go.
And then we'll save the product. That's a pretty badass logo.
That is awesome.
Sweet.
Go force green here.
There you go.
Yeah.
That green looks awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna make that the primary one to put up front.
That's so awesome.
Oh,
All right,
boy.
so just send me one of those in 2XL. I'm good.
I wear large.
All right, that will be that will be pretty cool.
Mm.
Here's one that I know you'll like. Look at that
There you
one.
go.
Oh, that's awesome.
That is sweet.
So cool.
Yeah, I got to get that one for my collection. I like that one. What else do you want this Chupacabra logo on?
Let's see if we can put that Chupacabra minus the tequila bottle on the North American Cryptid and Paranormal Society, because that's actually pretty sweet. If we get him leaning on that like if we can shrink it down and put him like in the forefront or in the back. So you got the Bigfoot, the Dogman, and then Chupacabra's in the back a little bit. And then we could have that tree there by the other, we could have the trees together.
Felipe has given us the blessing. That tequila Chupacabra have the official endorsement from a cryptid enthusiast from Mexico City.
That's all we need. Hey,
I love you, Felipe.
Felipe, we're keeping it. We need to keep that so we
Felipe,
can say,
can we quote you?
this is Mexican approved.
Felipe said it was okay.
Hey, that's right. So someone says, Felipe said we were good.
He said it was all right. He's
So-
Mexican. It was
And
okay.
he said we're good. Thanks, Felipe. That's my man right there.
All right.
I gotta go take the puppy
All right.
out. I'll be right back.
All right.
That would look like a good hoodie, like the back of a hoodie.
That would.
Oh,
Let's make a hoodie on that. Hold on. Let me go to the product catalog. Hoodies. Where's the unisex hoodies? Let's go. Middleweight, soft style. Garment dyed. What kind of hoodie do we want? Let's go with that one. That's too expensive. Let's go with this one. Start designing. Upload. My device. Desktop. Chupacabra.
This is my trunk pocket.
Or should I put that on the back? What do you think?
Actually, you know what I like? I like the picture on the front and then that spaced out radio logo on the back.
No, but that would be more badass on the back. Cut that. Let's see how it'll look. Backside. Upload. See, that would look more badass on the back.
Yeah, you're right.
The front side, we could do this. My device. Where are we here? This one. All right. Let's go this one right here. Come on. Give me some strength here. Let's go like this. Hold on. Let's see what it looks like in dark. What? Something like that.
Yeah, that's cool.
Why will it not? Oh, there we go. There's a halfway point. Right there. A little bit bigger. Come on. Come on, you dirty, filthy animal. I guess that's as big as we're going to get. That looks pretty good. Get rid of the white. Go darker colors on this. Let's go black.
Yeah.
Charcoal. Navy.
Do that green too. The dark green, that racing green.
Military green. That'll look badass. Stone blue.
Hell yeah.
We'll even throw in a little pistachio.
Just for flavor.
Mustard.
No.
Tangerine.
Oh, God, no.
Oh, maroon. No. I don't like maroon because I hate the band Maroon 5.
I do too. I was just about to say I hate Maroon 5, so no.
That'll look good.
There you go. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, let's go with those ones. We'll do this one in the front. Save selection. And then, yeah, let's just do that one primary.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's good. Do one more here. This is for Joe Monk. What can we do here? See how this turns out. Probably should have put a little bit more into it. Wait for that to load up. Come on. Woo poo, what's happening? Oh man, I thought I was on that page. There you go, Joe Monk.
Cool. All right, listen, I got to rock. I'll talk to you tomorrow, brother.
I'm leaving too. I'm tired.
Yeah, me too. Great show. Thank you.
All right, I'll clap for you. I'll call you tomorrow.
Good night, Dave.
Bye.
Good night. Good night, everybody. Tomorrow night on the show,
Mark.
Steve Pierce from the Travis Walton incident. See you tomorrow night, guys. Go get your Chupacabra shirts now. Good night.
Stay healthy, my friend.
You too.
If you need bail money, give me a call.
Always, Dad. Take care.
You too.